Welcome to the NFC West Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight and analysis on all things NFC West from the best creators in the division, including Los Angeles Rams creator Jake, San Francisco 49ers creator Jesse, Seattle Seahawks creator Brandon, and Arizona Cardinals creator Mike. Catch the NFC West Roundtable every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on the NFC West Roundtable YouTube channel. What is up, NFC West football fans, and welcome into another edition of the NFC West Roundtable. Week 18 is in the books. The 2025 regular season is in the books, and we have a division champion. Your Seattle Seahawks rise up, 12s. You are the champions of the NFC West. You are the number one seed in the NFC. On tonight's episode, we'll talk about how the Seattle Seahawks secured the division title and secured the number one seed. We'll talk about how the 49ers fell short and now find themselves playing the Philadelphia Eagles in round one. We'll also talk about the LA Rams, who took on the Arizona Cardinals this past weekend, and what they have coming up their way this upcoming weekend in the Wildcard round against the Carolina Panthers. And speaking of those Arizona Cardinals, they made some headlines themselves this week. We'll talk about a new coach on the way to Arizona before the start of the 2026 season. All that and more coming your way right here on the NFC West Roundtable. Without further ado, let's bring in the fellas. We got Mike, Jesse, Jake, and a Brando who's got to be living on cloud nine right now. Brando, look at those shades, baby. Looking as good as ever. Talk to me,
man.
bro.
When the future's looking this bright, you got to do but one thing. I mean, hey, we're on freebie time right now, man. This is house money, baby. The bets just keep rolling in. And now we're on the precipice of a Super Bowl run on the backs of the Rams and the 49ers at that, if it were to come about, on the back of the number one seed, on the back of owning this division. No more talk. No more, but we're the best this way. We're the best this way. Records are records, boys. We beat you, boys. One and all. One point or another. We earned the right to be here. No excuses. We took it. Feeling good.
You got to be feeling great, Jesse. On the other hand, not so much. The people are asking, Jesse, where is the hat?
Yeah, well, listen, Brandon had a off-the-wall request, a one-off hat that is no longer in existence. So we had to go to eBay, pay triple the cost of whatever the hell this thing is, order it on special delivery. We ordered it right away. Unfortunately, it doesn't arrive until tomorrow. So, man of my word, much like when Brandon had to wear the hat, it took an extra week. He didn't get to wear it on that next Tuesday. You know, it takes a while to ship things. So next Tuesday, I will wear the hat of choice. And on my channel, the next stream that I have, it should be here tomorrow. So as long as it's here by tomorrow, I might be wearing it on my channel tomorrow. So you can check it out over there at Last Second Sports. But I am a man of my word. I will absolutely wear the hat.
I attest. Jesse reached out to me right after the game.
Immediately.
I didn't have to go to him. He came to me. Nope. So nobody give Jesse any heat on the timeline of this. I did do an over-the-top request. I went for a crazy town hat. That's on me. So the delay's on me, but just trust me, ladies and gentlemen, when you finally get to see that marvelous thing on top of his head, you will understand where that extra time had to go into to go get it.
And let me throw this out there. Juno says, oh, Jake got his on time. First of all, Thursday night football game, 2 extra days. So there's that. And one, it was a basic beanie that you can get anywhere. All right. This one had to be special request order eBay only. And you'll understand why when this monstrosity comes in.
We cannot wait to see it. Based on the reaction Brandon is giving us, it's going to be well worth the wait next week. Now, we can only hope, Jesse, you'll be rocking that with a smile on your face after hopefully your San Francisco 49ers take down the reigning champion.
The 49ers win. I'll have a big smile on my face. Yes.
Yeah, you won't care what you have on top of that head so long as the Niners get it done in the wild card round. But unfortunately for you, Jesse, the 49ers did not get it done in Week 18. With the division on the line and the 1 seed on the line, the Seattle Seahawks were ultimately the victors to improve to 14-3, sending the 49ers to 12-5, and all it took was 13 points to do it. The Seattle Seahawks continue to show you that they might have the best defense in the NFL, a defense good enough to hopefully for Brandon and the 12-6 propel them to a Super Bowl. The San Francisco 49ers, their offense going into this game, it was humming. No one was playing better offense. That just goes to show you how dominant Seattle's D has been. 3 points allowed in this game, not a single touchdown scored by San Francisco. McCaffrey held to 23 yards on the ground. Brock Purdy, 127 on 27 attempts. An interception. On the other end of things, Sam Darnold, once again, can he step up in the big game? Well, in this one, all he had to do was really manage their way to a victory, and he did just that. He did not get in the way of Seattle's defense propelling them to victory here. Sam Darnold played a clean game, 20 of 26 for 198, no turnovers. JSN, 84 of those 198. Kenneth Walker on the ground, continuing to roll, 97 yards on 16 carries. Brando, this is the Seattle Seahawks team you were hoping and dreaming would be the reality in 2025. And here you sit with a comfortable week off in the wild card round, a division title secured. How are you feeling? Talk to me about your Seattle Seahawks and what they were able to accomplish this past weekend.
Well, we're obviously flying as high as you can be considering the results, but it's also the process that brought you here and that you're not lucking your way into it or something's just good fortune kind of goes this way and that way. They've brought themselves here with the collective of decisions, this young roster owning it and trying to take on the responsibility of wanting to be great and all that comes with that. And then as you watch this team coming together and getting better and better as the year goes along, that they're playing their best football right now at the end of the year, as they also have that number one seed and that they're fitting to the form that you just talked about a little bit there. Yes, Sam early on in the year was thrown all over the place and he was even in the MVP discussion halfway into the year. And then it's kind of now to where the offense has got a little more conservative. I think this game, though, represented why that is, because you have a defense that is them. This is the best defense in the NFL. By Jesse's own metric from a couple of weeks ago, they ended up with the lowest scoring defense in all of the NFL. And then you can look on anything on beyond that. You want to go DVOA, you want to go down the line. This defense will shut you down. It is not going to be another performance with them down the road of the Rams like you saw a couple of weeks ago. It is going to be through this playoffs, them being stifling, them being tough. They're at full health. They're running strong. You saw, and I don't want to make the comparison back to the old great defense, but one of the things from that old great defense that you saw on wide, bright display this last Saturday night was that if there was a catch to be given up, and I don't care if it's a 1-yard catch, I don't care if it's a 3-yard catch, they are in the right place right there after the catch, and they're making that tackle. There is no more wiggle room. There's no space down the field. They're suffocating you. They can get after you with the front four. And then offensively speaking, you're right, Sam Darnold didn't necessarily carry the load out there. He didn't have to. That's a part of the point of what this offense has done down the stretch as well. Because while everybody's getting caught up on he's only thrown for this many touchdowns and this many interceptions, they've lost track of the fact that we're running the ball as we had designed to want to do even at the start of the year. But when Sam was having to throw for all that yards, partly it was coming because you couldn't run the ball as particularly well as you've run the ball in the back half of the schedule. Another development that's come forward in a major way that is absolutely going to help you when you get into the playoffs. This team is just great on every front right now, from injuries to how you feel where the offense is playing. And the bottom line on the Sam Darnold thing is I've said from the start, this is going to be the great grand experiment we're going to see him play, because I've said the whole time, top 10 quarterback, put a great team together, that can go win you a Super Bowl. It's gotten them into this position here right now. I think all of those elements are pretty undeniable. And I think if he plays within himself, limits the turnovers as we go down through the playoffs, he's going to make enough throws, make enough plays. They can get this thing done.
We know what the 49ers offense has been in the recent weeks here, Brandon, but the Seahawks offense, I mean, it's funny when you're looking at this team, it's hard to figure out what the best unit is. And I think over time here, we've come to the conclusion that this defense is about as good as it gets. But the Seattle offense is no joke in their own right. They were averaging just shy of 30 points per game going into this one. How impressed were you with the ability for this team to win despite just putting up 13 points on the road in an environment like this? Because as I was watching, it tells me this team's able to win in a multitude of different ways, because this was essentially a playoff game. It doesn't get much bigger. The ability to win the way that they did, what does that say about this team heading into postseason football?
That is postseason football. I mean, you can attest to this. I'm sure having seen your Bills go through the playoffs quite a lot recently. It's a different brand of football that you're going to go in there and play. And though the scoreboard would indicate seemingly on the surface of this, the offense didn't do a lot, they did quite a lot. They held onto the ball. They converted third downs. They only had one punt on the day, and they had no turnovers. Do the math within that. One punt on the day, no turnovers. So there's some extra stuff going on there when it comes to why the scoreboard doesn't show something more illustrious than it did. But anybody watching this game could say that they controlled this game. And when it comes down to should they throw more to try to be more explosive and score more points, You saw that defense was shutting down that offense through 3 quarters. You were averaging like 6 yards a carry deep into the third quarter. If I'm going to my offensive coordinator as a coach, I'm saying, man, yeah, lean into the conservative nature. I got these guys on lock today. But the offense is going to be able to do enough in the playoffs. If they're running 180 yards rushing into the playoffs, they're not going to need their quarterback throwing for 300. That's really the point there. And they're going to control the clock, and they're going to keep their defense fresh into the fourth quarter so they can be roaring strong deep into the game. And that's football. That's playoff football to me. It's a different brand from what you get in the regular season by and large. And I wouldn't surprise me in the least if they end up having a lot of these type of games here into the playoffs.
Unfortunately, in massive games like this, fortunately for you, Brandon, you get to be on the celebratory end, but unfortunately for Jesse, somebody's got to be on the wrong end, and that was your 49ers, Jesse. And in looking at this game, they had every chance in the world. You allow 13 points. If you look at San Francisco, I think everyone would agree where they can be had would be on the defensive side of the ball. The way they've been putting up points, I think we would all go into this game thinking, if San Francisco held Seattle to just 13 points, I like the Niners' chances. But when you look back at this game, it really came down to 2 moments. Allowing Kenneth Walker to get a first down on 3rd and 17 late in the football game where it felt like Seattle was just going to settle to punt. He winds up getting 19 on the ground. And then, of course, finally, San Francisco gets in position to put points on the board. A little thrown behind Christian McCaffrey by Brock Purdy. It's not caught by CMC, tipped up and intercepted by Seattle. Felt like the game came down to those 2 moments. What did you make of your Niners in a massive game in the inability to kind of capitalize on a couple of crucial moments that could have been the difference?
Yeah, first, let me say congratulations to the Seahawks and their fans. I'm not the type that's ever going to sit up here and make excuses. Trent Williams was out and Ricky Pearsall was out. No. Those guys play, they still lose that game. At no point in that game did I ever feel like the 49ers were nearly as close as the score said. I feel like Seattle controlled that game from beginning to end, and it wasn't nearly as close as 13-3 would suggest that it was. So congratulations to the Seahawks. They definitely came out and did what they were supposed to do. That defense was absolutely dominant. That run game was dominant. And I want to go back to something that I said in the preseason. For me, I'd been talking up the Seahawks for 2 years. I really thought that they were a good young team, especially defensively. And I said going into this year, I can't do it again. I can't pick the Seahawks again to be a good team because they've burned me twice. They're going to have to show me. However, I also said I'm very worried that this team is similar to the 2019 49ers. And what I saw this past Saturday was an exact carbon copy of that team, a team that plays phenomenal defense, a team that has hard-hitting, fast-flying guys all over the place, a team that can run the ball with multiple guys, a team that has a quarterback that, as long as he's not put into crazy situations, can absolutely manage the game, and a team that is extremely well coached. To me, they are very much the 2019 49ers, similar roster-wise, similar youth, similar style of play down to the offensive game plan and coaching. This team has what it takes to make a run for sure. But I also do want to address the Sam Darnold thing because, I had a lot of people in my chat on Sunday, a lot of Seahawks fans coming in to celebrate. And I love that. Again, you guys deserve all the credit in the world. I'm curious to see what you guys are able to do. But I think Seattle can make a run here. I really do. I think that roster is amazing, and I think that it's well coached. But to act as if, at the very least, we're not still at an incomplete as far as what Sam can do with the game being on his shoulders when it matters most, I think is a bit overzealous. If you're looking at Sam Darnold as the reason to why the Seahawks won this game, you could probably put about 15 things above him. All right. Sam Darnold wasn't asked to do a lot, and that's fine. You don't have to go out there and be a superstar. I'm not acting as if he played some terrible game and, oh, look at this. But to act as if now we have the answer, no. At some point during the playoffs, it will come down to Sam Darnold, and we'll know then what it was. Sam Darnold played a good game statistically, but also Sam Darnold had some moments that were a little weird. First of all, let me call out the first drive. Strange play calling. I don't know what that was. I thought that was the worst sequence of play calling that I've seen in a must-win game in a while. You've got the ball after a penalty that puts you on the 1 yard line. You've got 2 good running backs and a good offensive line. Why not run the ball 4 straight times until you punch it in? Instead, you decide to get cute. You put the ball in Sam Darnold's hands. He has a wide open guy in the flat, and he takes a sack, and all of a sudden you guys end up with 0 points. You go for it on 4th down, which, again, made no sense where you're at on the field, but I digress. Sam Darnold flubs it up there. He also has an open guy on a slant to the side he's looking at. He has a wide open guy on the backside of the play for a touchdown. Now, I'm not going to ever kill a quarterback for missing the guy on the backside, but he does have a guy for a slant and a touchdown on the 4th down play. He misses that. He misses the guy in the flat. That was sequence number 1. Later on in the game, Sam Darnold trips over his own offensive lineman's foot. Not because he was stepped on by the center, which you have seen happen, but he fumbles the ball, almost puts the 49ers back in the game out of nowhere. And then at the end of the game, when it's all seemingly over, he throws the ball directly to a 49er, overthrows JSN. Luckily for the Seahawks, Renardo Green is out of bounds. So he wasn't asked to do a lot. And even within the confines of that, you can point to 3 or 4 moments where you're like, dude, what the fuck was that? Like, why are you doing these things? So the jury's still out on Sam Darnold. Again, I'm not taking anything away from the Seahawks or their fans. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. The Seattle was a better team. They showed that from beginning to end. They're dominant. You guys got the number 1 seed, but don't sit here and grandstand like we now know what Sam Darnold is, because we didn't get the answers from that game. I'm sorry, we didn't.
Brando, I'll give you a second here because we know how much you love your boy Sam Darnold. But to Jesse's point, it wasn't like he took over the game here, but to, everyone's point, or I guess just to the naked eye, he didn't have to do it. Are you concerned about his ability to do it in the postseason if necessary? Say the defense doesn't have an all-world outing like they just did against San Francisco. Do you somewhat feel within you that you worry if it's on his shoulders, he might not be able to come through for a team that clearly is built to go on a run?
I'm certainly worried with the penchant for the turnovers angle of things potentially coming up, but that doesn't have anything to do with the bright lights turning on or him going into the playoffs, and now suddenly he's going to shrink due to it. He's stepped up large many different times this season, and if I may quickly just address a couple of the points that he just brought up there, I think there's a absolutely fair criticism about missing the guy in the flat on the throw early on, and there is certainly a fair criticism from Jesse about the overthrow at the end that took JSN tipping it up in order for the defender not to intercept it because he had 1 foot out. I would say on a couple of their plays he just picked out, though, that his assessment of them are incorrect. You're running a pick play down at the end zone to that other side, so that's why you're not looking at the slant. That's predetermined by the offensive coordinator. As we learned in the Seahawks' second Super Bowl with the final play of the game, when you're running a pick play like that, it's like almost a fade route in the back of the end zone. The quarterback is going to throw it. It's not a read and assessment kind of throw. It's designed to be set up to go to that guy. And then as far as not stepping on or the center not stepping on him, well, that may very well be the case. If you go back and look at the play, your center got blown up into the backfield right after the snap. And that did kind of lead to that fumble. He was the one lineman that went backwards on that play post snap. Now, maybe you shouldn't be single blocking your center with a nose tackle, but that's what caused that. That wasn't Sam doing something Sam stupid. And that's, I think, the point is if you start to look through the lens of everything Sam stupid on every bad play that happens at times, it'll start to, color things in that direction of things a little bit. But as far to just give some rope back the other way with the interceptions and the turnovers he's had, can that come up in bunches suddenly at the worst of moments? It can. I don't think that that's Sam suddenly in his head. I think people have done a lot of psychological evaluations from afar on the guy and determined that he doesn't have something mentally within him that's capable of doing this. And I think that that's not correct, and I'm not worried about that in the least.
Well, I would say, Sam,
quick, I want to address this. Sure. I want to address this because somebody said, oh, Jesse said he's not going to make excuses, and then he made excuses. What excuses did I make? Honestly, what excuses did I make? I'm not blaming the refs. I'm not blaming injuries. None of that. Seahawks were the better team, pillar to post. I said that. I said the game didn't feel close. Seattle's a better team. Like, what? Where's the excuse? I didn't make a single.
I think they're referencing more to the Darnold aspect because you have a moment like in the end of the game where he breaks the pocket and gets a very key first down as we're trying to bleed the clock. It's not him getting a touchdown, but that would have been the exact moment you might have said last week you expected for him to shrink and fall apart.
Yeah, but that's not an excuse as to why the 49ers lost. I still
no, you didn't make any excuses about the loss. You've owned that. Yeah, I would never say you didn't make any excuse on this whatsoever from post game onwards. So I think that I think they're referencing more to Donald, but I think you're also fair to say we're not going to know till we got to the playoffs. And your own original measurement on this months ago, and you've been consistent at least on this, is that I need to see him win in the playoffs. So you're not moving the goalposts in this particular matter. You said that's what I need to see from him, and that's what we're going to learn about whether or not he can provide or not.
We certainly are going to learn that. I will say, though, if the last month is any indicator, the ability to find a way to beat the Rams. I know he had some help from special teams and defense at the end there, but still found a way to win this game, too. Two big games, two of the biggest games Sam Darnold has ever won, probably the two biggest he has ever won. So it looks like it's trending in the right direction. To put a bow on this, I'll finish with you here, Jesse. What did you make of Kyle Shanahan in this football game? You're clearly going up against the best defense in the NFC. There's an argument that they're up there with Houston for the best in the NFL. This is a team that was just destroying defenses offensively, and we understand that the Bears' defense isn't Seattle's defense. But 3 points at home in this big of a game, they also flashed the graphic. It seems like when they're down in the fourth quarter, the Niners, that is, it's toast. They don't come back. Are you concerned about that type of element creeping up here in the postseason when it's do or die football?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the 49ers kind of were front running 42 points a game over 3 weeks against bad defenses. And all of a sudden Purdy's a lead and Shanahan's the best play caller in the game. And it's not acceptable. You can't put up 3 in a game like that at home. You can't do it. But I said it going into the game, Mike Macdonald is a really good defensive coach. And he's one of the few, if not the only guy that will match wits with Shanahan, play in and play out. Shanahan does a great job of using motions and shifts to give Brock Purdy easy reads, easy tells before the snap so he knows exactly where he's going with the ball. Well, Mike Macdonald is not having it. He's going to send guys in motion with your players and make it look like man when it's not man. And then everybody communicates across the board, and all of a sudden they're taking up different spots in the zone, and it's not a traditional look. And post-snap, you're rolling coverages. This was the first time in a long time, and I don't know how the 49ers continuously get guys wide open on medium to deep dig routes over the middle of the field, but it happens play in and play out on a regular basis. Seattle said, absolutely not. We're going to take one of our better players. We're going to shadow. We have 3 players, by the way, that we feel very confident can take CMC one-on-one, and so they mix those through beautifully and say, all right, CMC's not going to beat us underneath, which means we're going to start dropping back over the middle and taking away those dig routes. And even if you have an open dig route, you're going to be pressured until your eyes bleed, Brock. So good luck with that. Seattle had a phenomenal game plan. They executed flawlessly. And all the credit in the world goes to Mike Macdonald and that defense, man. They're ferocious, and they hit. Oh my gosh, they hit. I hate Seattle, and I hate losing to Seattle. But just from a football perspective, I love nasty defenses that will hit you in the mouth, especially in today's day and age. It's really hard to come across that. Them in Houston, they do it flawlessly. They have got some hitters on that defense for sure.
No doubt about it, Jesse. I don't think anybody wants to go up against the Seattle Seahawks defense in the playoffs. Luckily for the field, they won't have to go up against them in the wild card round. We do look forward to seeing your Niners back in action in a game that I think is one of the games of the entire slate. Eagles, Niners. Will of course break that one down on the back half of the episode. Let's transition from what was the championship essentially in this division to a battle between the two fellas on the bottom of your screen, the Rams and the Arizona Cardinals. The Rams kind of playing out the string here. And of course, the Cardinals looking to solidify draft capital. And we'll talk a little bit later about what went down after this game with their head coach. But in terms of this game itself, the LA Rams finish off strong, 37-20, the final over Arizona to improve to 12-5. That wound up locking in the 5 seed for the LA Rams. This game was close throughout. In fact, going into the fourth quarter, it was a 3-point game. Jacoby Brissett slinging it around as we're used to seeing all year long. Kind of a pedestrian type outing in terms of passing attempts. Usually we see him 40 plus 31, but he had 243. And Michael Wilson has been the gem of the year that I don't think anybody saw coming. He was unbelievable in this game. 5 for 99 and a touchdown. He also had a massive catch later in the game that wound up getting called back. He was extraordinary, but Matt Stafford really put an exclamation point on his bid for MVP in this game. 25 of 40, 259 and 4 touchdowns. So the Rams finish out strong. Jake, I'll start with you here. What did you like from what you saw from the Rams being able to bounce back after a couple of, disappointing weeks, you could say, based on our expectations for LA? How did you like their ability to bounce back and kind of build momentum going into the postseason?
Yeah, I appreciated it. I mean, it wasn't, super fun to watch early on. You saw Arizona was giving it everything they had at the end of the season. Jonathan Gannon's coaching for his job, which of course was non-existent. We didn't know that at the time, but really happy for Mike there. But no, I appreciated them playing their starters and Sean McVay taking it seriously and being honest. Like, I'm convinced. I understand, maybe that wasn't the case, but I'm convinced when he said, regardless of the outcome of Seattle and San Francisco, we are playing our starters because we need to get things going and we need to get things fixed and we need to get things right. I really appreciated that. I appreciated the effort. I appreciated getting Kyren Williams and Blake Corum involved in the ground. I appreciated getting Tyler Higbee back. And man, sometimes you just find things like you'll never know for sure what you have until you have it. And Tyler Higbee, if he's going to play like he did against Arizona, those seam busters over the middle, it's just another thing that defenses are going to have to worry about. Parkinson with 8 touchdowns on the season. Stafford was great. The defense got plenty of pressure. I mean, you had 2 sacks from Desjuan Johnson. You speak about a guy that, Higbee is coming out of nowhere. Well, look at Desjuan Johnson. I mean, he has 16 pressures. He has a over 22% pressure rate, which is one of the highest in the league. And he's just coming out of seemingly nowhere right now off the edge. He and Josiah Stewart had a really good game. Jared Verse had a really good game. Just really good signs going into the big dance. I know people are really concerned about this cornerback room, but Quentin Lake is coming back. He's ready to go. He was activated off IR today. Really excited about that. I really think, it's easy to be like, yeah, the Rams, they choked it away. They lost to Seattle. They lost to the Falcons and, just kind of write them off. But I mean, this is almost identical to what happened. 2 good teams. I mean, say what you will about the Falcons. That team is probably the best team in the NFC South, and they're not in the playoffs, and they fired their coach. But anyway, the Rams also lost 2 games near the end of the season back in 2018. And I remember everyone pushing the panic button, including Rams fans, and acting like they had no chance and it was over. And it was on the flip side, the AFC, it was happening with the New England Patriots, and those two ended up playing each other in the Super Bowl. Point being is you truly never know what you're going to get when you get into the playoffs. It's good to be hot. I mentioned this last week. It helps, but it's not necessarily guaranteeing you anything. And so that's the thing. I mean, the Carolina Panthers, they lost 3 of their last 4. Tampa barely won a game at the end of the year. They won the most important game, and they still didn't make the playoffs on account of 2 teams that had nothing to do with them, but figured out a tiebreaker. It's just the way things are, and so I think the Rams did as much as they could following the defeat against the Falcons, and I thought they put together a good game against Arizona. I thought the special teams looked good. I thought the defense looked good. I know people are going to, again, throw shade about the cornerbacks. I really don't think enough credit is given to Michael Wilson. I mean, Z-Bot, you did a great job of explaining it. He's a stud. And, aside from that, I mean, you got the offense clicking. You're going to get Adams back. I already mentioned Quentin Lake. You saw what Higbee can do. Really, at this point, they're just waiting for Kevin Dotson, and the Rams have a chance to go into Saturday with almost every single starter they started the season with. And to do that, into 18 games in the season, that is not easy to do. So, you'll just appreciate it as a Rams fan. You'll just appreciate it. They're 12-5. They were 12-5 the year they won the Super Bowl. It sucks because you feel like, this team should. They had every opportunity. They should be the 1 seed. They should have teams come into play in their backyard, but that's not the case. And it doesn't really matter because the Rams have had to go on the road and win big games in the past. And Stafford and Sean McVay have shown they're equipped to do it.
Well, Jake, I know you didn't get the 1 seed. Many people thought you would, but if it's any consolation, 10.5-point road favorite against the team they've already lost to this year that I cannot possibly fathom they lose to twice. A team that played a playoff game this past weekend and lost, and yet still found their way to get in because of those aforementioned Falcons who, if they had not lost to the Jets earlier in the year, would have won the division on Sunday. The NFC South is absolutely insane. Mike, I'll pivot to you, and I'm not even going to bother asking you about the game itself because we finally got some positive stuff to talk about out in Arizona. First and foremost, with that loss, Mike, we lock in, your Arizona Cardinals do, at the 3rd overall pick. So that's first and foremost. Doesn't get much better than having a top 3 pick. But they're going to have a new coach involved in the draft, helping pick whoever they wind up going with that 3rd overall pick. It was just announced yesterday that after a 15-36 record in 3 seasons, head coach Jonathan Gannon fired from his duties as the commander-in-chief of the Arizona Cardinals. And it gets a little bit better when you're seeing the coaches that are now on the market, including Kevin Stefanski and John Harbaugh, which broke today, a crazy firing, 2nd longest tenured coach in the NFL. He's on the market. Stefanski, I know, didn't go well in Cleveland, but still a great coach nonetheless. There's options here is what I'm getting at, Mike. So how do you feel today? I know the season's over and it wasn't a great year, but you have the 3rd overall pick and Jonathan Gannon's out. Talk to me about the current state of Arizona as you see it.
Yeah. Real quick, Jake, you appreciate them starting their starters. I do too. And I appreciate you starting because I do feel like that was the cherry on top of the ice cream because the Arizona Cardinals got obliterated 6 out of the 9 games. And I feel like that was truly what broke the camel's back when it came down to Jonathan Gannon actually getting fired. There was a report earlier about, if he wins 1 or 2 more games, and this was like 4 weeks away before the season's over, he might keep his job. That report might have been true, which is absolutely asinine, but it might have been true. But obviously the Cardinals are on a 9-game losing streak to end the season. But the state of the Cardinals right now is kind of what you expect out of a 3-14 team. The record that we've never thought we were ever going to get, the history in the making, never been 3-14. Unfortunately, Jonathan Gannon has his name tied to the 3-14 record, but it makes sense. It really does. I know there was a lot of people within the media saying like, the Cardinals were not going to do it, or Michael Bidwell wouldn't fire Jonathan Gannon because he doesn't want to pay 3 coaches at the same time. Honestly, I give credit to Monty and to Michael Bidwell for looking at the state of the NFC West and saying we're not good enough. Like, at the end of the day, we're not good enough. And in their presser, they ended up coming out and saying this came down to this decision in terms of releasing and firing Jonathan Gannon came down to wins. There was not enough wins. And they felt, now, although I can disagree a little bit, I think the construction building of the roster had a little play into it as well when all the injuries kind of unfolded. But the NFL is a brutal business, so it is what it is. Monty's going to get another opportunity to pick another head coach. But yeah, he said that it all came down to winning. There was not enough wins, and yeah, man, you see the state of the NFC West. You're seeing a quick turnaround with a lot of these young coaches coming in here. Mike McDonald being one of them, and he's within this division. Liam Cohen doing it as well. Ben Johnson doing it, right? And obviously, Mike Vrabel isn't a young coach, but came back and he's already brought the 4th place Pats to now the 1st place Pats, and obviously dethrone your guys' Bills over there, Z-Bot. So, there's something to be said about Michael Bidwell acknowledging these things, right? Because too many times have we seen him kind of putting all these things on the wayside. So right now, there's a lot of, I guess, happiness in the light at the end of the tunnel for Cardinal fans because we were depressed, man. Obviously, Emo Mike was, made his appearance about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was going to bring him back. But seeing the fact that we have now entered the state of we have hope now. Hey, man, we feel like we have all positive direction coming our way now. Yes, the whole John Harbaugh situation came out. That just kind of got us all perked up and excited. Is it possible? I'm not going to ever say no, but you got some really good candidates out there, all within this NFC West as well. Although we haven't requested anybody within the Rams, I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up doing that. But Clint Kubiak, as well as Robert Saleh, which I'm pretty high on as well. It's really cool to see the Cardinals jumping on it right away. Because the last time, I'm going to be real, the Arizona Cardinals had to hire Monty Ossenfort. And literally, I feel like when we were in the coaching search after Monty Ossenfort, I feel like we were just kind of like, let's just get this guy. He won the Super. Let's just get this guy. Let's just bring him in here. I feel like he was just leftovers. I'm sorry to say, but I never had him on my top list. I remember saying very specifically, Jonathan who? how do you say his name? Who is this guy? He wasn't on my list, but the Cardinals ended up going with him. We bought into it. We saw what happened, and obviously it was good while it lasted, but it just kind of unraveled at the end of the day. Cardinals have the 3rd overall pick. We can go in any which direction. I'm really excited about it. It sucks that the Jets and the Raiders are sitting right in front of us, and they're quarterback needy teams as well. But there's the Kyler storyline. There's a 3rd overall pick. There's a new head coach. So the good things are happening for the Cardinals moving forward. So I wish I had a crystal ball to see what the Cardinals were going to do. But man, first time you're seeing a smile on my face, and I love it.
And I'm glad you mentioned those final few things there, Mike, because that's what I wanted to ask you before we transition here. You mentioned the 3 big things. 3rd overall pick, Kyler Murray and his future. We have no idea what that's going to look like. And then, of course, the new head coach, a vacancy there, and there's a bright future in terms of whoever they could wind up going with there and hoping that it's going to wind up turning this organization around for the best. So I know you don't have a crystal ball, but in a fictitious crystal ball scenario, what does the beginning of 2026 look like for your Cardinals, and how do you think that this all winds up coming to a head here?
Yeah, well, I mean, the first thing they got to do is find the coach, and they got to figure out when they get that coach, what are they going to do with Kyler? Because in March is when that guaranteed is going to hit, and that's when Michael Biddle is going to get those big, checks written out if they so want to do that direction. But they got to find their coach. Once they do that, next is going to be Kyler Murray. What are they going to do? Are they going to build around Kyler at least for one more year, or are they going to pivot to go to a cheaper route, right? Another quarterback maybe in the draft. Now, like I said earlier, it sucks that the Jets are here and the Raiders are there because they're both quarterback needy teams. But I've also flirted with the idea of maybe the Cardinals can do some sort of pick swap and sending Kyler to one of those 2 teams to maybe work something out. If they want maybe another 1st round pick, maybe we can make that happen. But obviously it depends. We don't know who's coming out. Right now, I know Fernando Mendoza most likely will come out. We don't know if Dante Moore will. I know Ty Simpson is trending in the direction, but I don't see him as a 1st round pick anymore. So first things first, head coach, figure that out, then Kyler Murray, and then from Kyler, free agency, and then the draft. But I truly do, and call me biased, and I get it. Every time, the new season comes around, there's crazy optimism for your team. I just got that optimism back, and I'm really excited about 2026 again. So I'm excited because what we've seen from Michael Wilson when Marvin hasn't been there, it's night and day, man. We have our wide receiver 1 over there. And it was actually, I didn't get a chance to talk about this, but seeing the matchup between Okello and Michael Wilson, it was so cool to see him go back and forth. And we haven't seen that in a very long time from a wide receiver standpoint. And shout out to Okello for ripping that ball away from him, because he could have had way over 100 yards. Michael Wilson could have had. So excited about that. Excited about having the best tight end in the NFL in Trey McBride. We still got to worry about our run game. What are we going to do there? Fix a couple pieces on the O-line and maybe getting a couple pieces on the defense. But I feel like we're right back in it, man. I'm excited.
Robert
Future
Saleh,
is certainly looking
Mac
bright.
Jones, and Breece Hall are all going to be Cardinals. There you go.
Robert Saleh, stop.
Who was
it
the second
Mac
one?
Jones. I'm cool with Breece Hall.
Mac Jones and Breece Hall.
I'm good with no Mac Jones.
Well,
How
if
about
you
that?
get Robert Saleh, don't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers pops over there.
Ooh, Rodgers.
Okay, you guys are killing my vibe. Brett, stop it.
Well, we
Let
know
Rodgers
Breece
take
Hall
care of
wants
the
to go
Texans
wherever
first.
Rodgers is. Did you guys see that tweet?
I didn't. What happened?
It's like, oh, number 8 still like that.
Sheesh. Yikes.
I
Let
can't
him
believe the
take care of
Jets kept
Houston
their
first.
head coach.
I can't
I
either.
finally got some optimism, Jake.
Right? And then you just bring the vibe down. Stop it. God.
Well,
No,
we
I
certainly
should-
look forward to it. Go ahead.
I should credit Mike. Because he was given props for when Rams fans aren't even giving him props for that. They're like, it was a lucky. I'll break down that play for you. 26, Cam Kinchins doesn't get the message he's supposed to be the safety help over the top. So Kello's shading, and all of a sudden he realizes he has no safety help, which is the play was designed for him to have. And so he has to haul ass, and then Ty goes to the runner, so he knows he has to rip this ball out before they go down to the ground. And it was an incredible play, but Michael Wilson is a baller, and I saw something like he didn't get utilized until like week 11, but had he been utilized the way he's been utilized, guys, he could have broken the receiving yards record. That's the type of pace he was on. People need to talk about Michael Wilson.
The first 3 weeks, I think he caught the ball 3 or 4 or 5 times. I think he had a total of like 50 something yards. Yeah, it's crazy to see how underutilized the coaching staff has not known that he was on this team and didn't utilize him like that. It's nuts.
That's fireable just in and of itself. There you go.
Well, it all wound up coming full circle. Jonathan Gannon was fired. The future is bright in Arizona, and we all look forward to see what ends up panning out with Arizona this offseason. But before we get to the offseason, we got a wild playoff coming up this upcoming week, including Wildcard round. We'll dive into it in just a second. Before we do, want to give a shout out to my friends over at RotoWire who have you covered with a variety of awesome premium features, including their NFL odds tool. And speaking of the Wildcard, they have all of the odds up for Wildcard weekend. And you can shop those odds all in one place across all the major sports books using RotoWire's NFL odds tool. Right now, you can get the Rams, their best line, over on DraftKings. You can get the Panthers' best line over on FanDuel, and you can compare all the lines across all those books for all the games right there on RotoWire. That's just one of the many premium features you can take advantage of with a premium RotoWire subscription. Link in the description below. Click that and sign up for RotoWire. And once you do, use the promo code RTS, and that will get you 15% off that premium subscription. Now, we already know that the wild card round is going to be incredible. It's going to be amazing. The action is going to be high flying. Make the action even more intense with a sleeper slip. I built one for my Buffalo Bills game against the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday, and I've never been more nervous in my entire life. People are saying, "But we've had to play the Chiefs 4 times. You weren't that nervous then." And I said, I know. It's a whole different year, and this is my slip going into it. I got Josh Allen more than 33.5 rush yards. The playoff legs will be out for Josh Allen in this game. James Cook, anytime touchdown. Dalton Kincaid, longest reception, more than 16.5 yards. And Travis Etienne, 61.5 rush yards, because everybody can run on Buffalo, and I would imagine Travis Etienne will do the same. If you want to tell that slip or, of course, create your own, link in the description below. Click that and sign up for Sleeper. Once you do, you will immediately get a free $20 entry, and you can use that on the wildcard round, on NBA, NHL, you name it. It's all on Sleeper. And once you use that free $20 entry, use the promo code on your screen, RTS, and that will get you a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper terms of use for details. Currently available in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper via the link in the description below. Fellas, the season has come and gone, and we transition now from the regular season to the postseason as wild card weekend is upon us. Brando doesn't play this weekend, but for all the right reasons. He gets to sit back, relax with his shades on, and watch Jake's Rams and Jesse's 49ers get to work to try and move on within the postseason and perhaps get to play those Seattle Seahawks yet again. So let's start with the first game of the entire slate, and it starts in Carolina, where they come off a division win that really makes no sense. It came down to a 3-team tiebreaker. They lost to Tampa Bay, but because of the Atlanta and New Orleans game, they back in, and they now host the LA Rams, where they are a 10.5-point road dog. As we know, earlier in the season, the Rams played the Carolina Panthers, and the Panthers shockingly upset them off a couple of impressive bombs from Bryce Young to help them secure the victory. Now you have to wonder, can the Panthers find a way to pull that upset off again? The Rams looking to go the distance. I think everybody looks at this team as a team that can go the distance, but it starts on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Jesse, I'll start with you. It's not a bye week for the Rams, but if there was ever a game that felt like a bye week in the wild card, it would be this. But do you think the Panthers have a fighting chance to get it done against the Rams?
Yeah, they've got a fighting chance. They're at home. They've really got no pressure. Nobody's expecting them to win. So, yeah, they've certainly got a fighting chance. Last time that this game was played, I think that I said there was not a snowball's chance in hell. And there was apparently a snowball chance in hell, and the Panthers won the game. So that being said, I like that Quentin Lake is coming back for the Rams. I like that Devontae Adams is coming back. I think that'll infuse very well both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball for them. However, I got to say, as the guy who picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl in the preseason, I felt really good about that until about 3 weeks ago. Something happened. That loss to Seattle kind of came out of nowhere. Then you lose to the Falcons. Last week, you struggled with the Arizona Cardinals. Something's up with these Rams, and maybe it's as simple as getting Devontae Adams and Quentin Lake back. It could be that simple, but I haven't been impressed with this defense, regardless of how many good big names that there are on that defense. And they've they've struggled a little bit overall, putting teams away. So we'll see how it plays out. Ultimately, I do think the Rams get this one done. I'm just more so worried about their playoff chances as this thing continues because they were my Super Bowl pick in the preseason. But I'm going to go 27-20. Rams get this one done, but they do not cover.
Rams getting it done, according to Jesse, by a touchdown in the wild card round. Brando, I'll go to you here. Jesse said the last time these two teams played, not a snowball's chance in hell. That snowball evaporated in the depths of hell. Now, can somehow, some way, the Carolina Panthers find a way to crystallize yet another snowball against these Rams on Saturday, wild card round, in a game where everything's on the line?
Yes, I think, well, and one thing that I think Jake would potentially point to in that last game that was a big factor was the fact that it seemed like God himself was turning off the rain showers every time Carolina came onto the field offensively and then turning them back on when the Rams were on the field conversely, which wouldn't be a factor into this game. Expect that we are looking at maybe there being some showers in this game. And I think that is just Jesse just spoke to, I think there's really no way you can really look around the Rams not winning this game at the full strength, having the return to the ranks as they do. But you talk about a weather equalizer. You talk about having a guy like McMillan out there that could be troublesome for a cornerback room that can sometimes be a little up and down. And then a team that's going to run the ball in those weather conditions when this is going to happen. I think as well that Matt Stafford and his side, and some of the few times, and very few times this year, you might have been able to get to him. It has been against a Falcons team that defensively wants to be an off-zone coverage and then attack out of that realm. Likewise, with the Panthers, you're going to get a good amount of off-zone coverage with fairly strong quality caliber corners on the outside. And I think that that's going to make this hard, but I do think that they find a way to just edge it out at the end, but that's why I don't have them covering either. I go 24-19 Rams.
Ooh, a couple of games predicted to be closer than maybe people will think. Mike, how do you think this one goes between the Rams and the Panthers on Wild Card weekend?
I mean, I thought the same thing about the Rams in the beginning. I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, who are these Rams when they were playing the Cardinals? But I felt like, I don't know, like I almost kind of felt like they laxed a little bit. It's like, hey, we're going to kind of cruise control through this. It's like their mind was already in the playoffs already. It's what it kind of felt like. Oh, we're the hottest thing since sliced bread. That's what it felt like. But then Cardinals scored points, and then kind of it got a little to the point where I was like, okay, this is getting too close. And then they put it on the Cardinals, and then they absolutely whipped the Cardinals. So I feel like once playoffs are on, they're gonna turn it on. So I'm worried about the defense. I am. I think the defense is definitely something to be concerned about. I'm glad they're getting their pieces back. But I wouldn't sleep on the Panthers. I wouldn't, but I'm not going to pick the Panthers to beat them. But I'm going to say 31-21. I got the Rams winning this game.
Jake, it all comes down to this. You, of course, have felt like your LA Rams are going to be going the distance throughout the year here. They haven't played their best football towards the end of the season, but now here they are with a chance to go and do what you predicted they were going to do all season long. It all starts against the Panthers team that they're a massive favorite against, and they're going to want revenge because not only are they looking to move on and go win a Super Bowl, but they lost to this team about a month or so ago, and nobody predicted that. So in your estimation, are the Panthers able to find a way to pull off a second upset, or do the Rams right their wrongs and move on to the divisional round this weekend?
The Rams are going to right their wrongs. I do think Quentin Lake, that was the first game where they really missed him because they didn't need him to beat Tampa. They just dominated Tampa in all facets. But they really missed him in that game, and they exploited the middle of the field where Quentin Lake would have been in this game. I thought that the game plan of Dave Canales was a lot different. I've watched the Panthers all year. He called a completely different game against the Rams he's called against anybody. Okay, he did not have that confidence against Seattle. I watched both games, and I can tell you right now it was a different game. I'm also not ignorant to the fact that Chandler Zavala was out for that game. Christian Roseboom was out for that game. They were without concussion, left out their best corner, J.C. Horn. He's an absolute baller. And Trayvon Merritt got suspended right before that game. So they were without some key pieces. So I'm not going to sit here and say the Rams are the only team that had injuries. But the Rams, Poona Ford, that was magically the first game all year. It felt like a team could run the football against the Rams defense. And it came in the game where Poona Ford was on a snap count because he clearly wasn't 100%. So there was that. There was not having Tyler Higbee, which hurt their 13 personnel stack. I think we've seen that because, Mike, you saw Tyler Higbee came alive this past week. If that's the Tyler Higbee we're going to get in the playoffs, he's my number one X factor for the Rams this postseason. But be that as it may, Devontae Adams found the end zone twice in that game. He's back. They've now missed him. I think the Rams win this game 30-20. Keep in mind, the Rams really had a lot kind of go against them in this one. That's just not typical of Rams football. They gave up a lot of yards on the ground. They ran the ball 40 times, by the way. Carolina hasn't done that all season long. Dave Canales typically abandons the run. We saw that against Seattle. We saw that against the Green Bay Packers. They abandoned the run. But they ran the ball 40 times against the Rams, made them try to stop it, and they were really missing a healthy Poona Ford in that game. In addition to that, they also gave up 3 fourth-down conversions in this game. They actually stopped Jacksonville on 5 fourth-down conversions early on this season. They've been great on fourth down. For whatever reason in that game, Carolina got whatever they wanted on fourth down, and that resulted in 2 touchdowns by Bryce Young. So there were some things that happened that just are not characteristic of Rams football. You had 3 turnovers. It was just a weird day, and yet all things considered, the Rams lost by 3. The Panthers deserve a lot of credit. I know they're 8-9. They also played one of the toughest schedules in football, and I don't think that's talked about nearly enough. But they have lost 3 of their last 4. They haven't been impressive lately. I know they're going to get up for this game, but I also think I'm going to go with the quarterback that I trust, and that is Matthew Stafford over Bryce Young any day of the week. Chris Shula is going to dial up some things Bryce Young hasn't seen and did not see in Week 13, and the Rams are going to win this one 30-20 on the back of their pass rush, running the football, which they averaged around 11 yards per carry, I believe, the last time, and Matthew Stafford is going to take care of the football. So Rams win 30-20. And I think they're going to be hosting the 49ers next round.
Before we get to that 49ers game, real quick, Jake, Jesse mentioned something interesting. It just does feel like there is something different with the Rams. I'm not entirely sure what, and maybe it was that collapse against the Seahawks, but they haven't felt as dominant as I think people felt they were just a handful of weeks ago. They were everybody's Super Bowl darling, and now I feel like you're seeing some trepidation there. Any trepidation on your end, even in the slightest, compared to where you were on this team about a month ago?
No. I think what Mike said, he might actually be closer to the point. And I might have honestly kind of sold it short a little bit initially because, Sean McVay normally has these guys ready to go and they're a week-by-week team. But I do kind of feel like, what Mike was saying is true. I think they maybe just kind of coasted a little bit. They're the first team. I think people forget this. They were the first team to clinch a playoff berth. And when Sean McVay, your head coach, comes out and says he doesn't care what seed you are, I don't know. I know that they cared about that Seahawks game. I know they cared. But I see a lot of Seahawks fans, not necessarily in the comment section, but just across social media, acting like they broke the Rams. I don't think that's what it was. And I do think the loss of Josh Wallace and not having him against the Falcons, who was replacing Quentin Lake and playing well, not on Quentin Lake's level, but playing well, I think they desperately needed one of those guys. I think Jalen McCullough really struggled, and you started to see Bijan Robinson take advantage of that. And I thought they kind of figured everything out against the Cardinals. I know it was the Cardinals, but that's a team that you're going to get your best from Jacoby Brissett. He's always going to give you, his all, and that was a team that was trying to win that football game. And they're an NFL team, and they deserve credit because they fought until the end. And then the Rams kind of ran away with it, like Mike said, scoring on, 3 straight drives and pissing off all the Drake May fans. But the reality is that the Rams, they've been there, done that. Sean McVay knows what it's like to go through the gauntlet. They had to go on the road, and they had to play Tampa Bay, Tom Brady. They went up 27-3 in that game. The year they won the Super Bowl, they blew the lead, and Tampa Bay came all the way back and changed the game, and then the Rams were able to come through and win that one. They've been in the driver's seat. They almost blew the game against the 49ers in their backyard. They almost blew the Super Bowl. So this is, they've faced adversity before, and there's not a quarterback in this league that is playing better than Matthew Stafford. So I think the good thing about the Rams, if you want to take anything away from them, is that They are getting Quentin Lake back. They are getting Devontae Adams back. They might have Kevin Dotson back. But more importantly, they're getting pass rush. It's starting to get going again. And we've seen that. Kirk Cousins was pressured on 14 of his 21 dropbacks. That pass rush is starting to get going again. And we saw last year only 38 sacks on the season. Not nearly as much as they had this year. I believe it was 47 this year. That team almost set the record for sacks in the postseason in 2 games. So we've seen, I do think this is a team, whether I hate to admit it or not, this feels like a team that maybe slouches a little bit against lesser competition. And there might have been a little bit of an overlooking of the Panthers in week 13. But the Panthers are in the playoffs now. There's no overlooking, and you're on the road. So I do believe that they're going to take care of business, and I don't think they're overlooking anybody the rest of the way.
Jake, you mentioned that after your Rams get it done against the Panthers, they'll be playing host to the San Francisco 49ers. And in order for that to become a reality, the Niners will have to get it done on the road at the Link against the reigning champion Philadelphia Eagles. Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. It's the San Francisco 49ers on the road against Philadelphia. Right now, the Niners are a 4.5-point dog, and this is about as good of a game as you'll get all weekend. Jesse, I don't know if your heart's going to be able to handle a semifinal with your Ducks transitioned into a Niners game against the reigning champs in the wild card round. I pray for you and your doctor this upcoming weekend. The Niners, we know that they've been playing some of their best football offensively up until they met that juggernaut that is the Seattle Seahawks defense. The Eagles, their defense is their strong suit. However, they don't have an offense that is as potent as Seattle's. I know Seattle only scored 13 in that game, but I go back to when the Eagles played my Bills a couple weeks ago, and Jalen Hurts didn't complete a pass in the second half. So it'll be interesting to see what this game comes down to and who ends up edging it out. Brandon, I'll start with you. It's the Niners. It's the Eagles, a massive wild card showdown. Who advances to the divisional in this one?
Yeah, I think I've got to give the Eagles the nod on this one, but not for any other reasons than I would point to for last week that they're even more reinforced here. Even if a Trent Williams goes out there and plays, how healthy is he really? Or Parasol plays, how healthy is he really? They lost another inside linebacker. They're down like 4 inside linebackers here. It's just too many injuries. And that is much the story carrying into that game last week. And I said it was, and I think it's going to carry through this week where the Eagles were in a better shape. They'll be more well-rested. You're going out there on the road. It's an Eagles team defensively that can do a lot of the same things that we were able to do defensively last week. And I think they're not as good as we are in that way, and that's going to give the Niners a little bit of an inroad, but they're going to have to essentially outscore the Eagles in a lot of ways, control the clock, control the ball, keep the ball out of their hand, the Eagles' hands. So there's a pathway for this to happen, but I just think that at this point where the Niners are there, it's just one about 10 injuries too many as far as it stands. And that's really going to be how we feel coming off this game. I'm going to go 30-17 Eagles.
30-17. Brando's got the Eagles winning quite comfortably. Mike, how do you see this one? Niners and the Eagles. It is at the Link. I'm not sure what the weather is going to be like, but we know the last time one of these divisional foes took on Philadelphia, it was snow, and hopefully it's not the case in this game, because if that winds up being a decent weather game, you got to imagine that these two teams are going to put on a show. So what do you make of this one, Mike, in the wild card round, and who do you think takes it?
I said something very stupid last week, right? I pulled the stupid little sign up. Freddie mites were right. They're not right. This defense, man. I'm telling, I don't know. Obviously the Seahawks, I do believe it's got the best defense, right? They're nasty. But I do believe that the Eagles are pretty solid as well when it comes down to it. I think there's going to be some points in this game, but I don't know. I'm going to lean on the experience, and I know Kyle Shanahan is a really good coach, but I don't know. There's something about the Philadelphia Eagles. They win ugly. It doesn't matter. He could complete one pass, and I'm talking about Jalen Hurts, and they still freaking find a win. I don't get it. I don't understand what they do. They have some sort of freaking black magic going on over there. But I'm gonna lean on the Eagles here. I really are. I'm gonna go weird. I'm gonna say 23-16. I'm gonna say the Eagles win this game, and the 49ers get booted out. I agree. I think the injuries are way too much. The pretty mites, they had their little song and dance. It's over. It's over.
Jake, you already alluded to your answer earlier, but explain to us, why did the San Francisco 49ers get it done against the Eagles in the wild card round?
Well, here's the thing. I think the 49ers are battle-tested, having to play against two of the best teams in the league twice. And I think the Eagles coasted through a terrible division. And I think that's going to benefit the 49ers. I mean, that game against the Bears, everyone's going to quickly forget about that game. Everyone's going to forget about Brock Purdy going toe-to-toe with Caleb Williams now that they have lost and only put up 3 points. But I'm not going to do that. I think the 49ers are going to win this game because I don't think the Eagles are anywhere near as good as they were last year. Their offense does not scare me. The 49ers offense is averaging over 31 points per game their last 3 games, and the Eagles are averaging under 20. So, I understand the Eagles defense is great. The 49ers, their defense hasn't been great, and they did a nice job to a degree, keeping Seattle's number pretty low. Seattle's a much better offense than the Eagles. So, also, 49ers averaged 28 points per game when on the road, so they're a much better road offense than they are at home, fun fact. And I just trust Kyle Shanahan to find a way. I mean, this year, this is what they've done this year. And I understand, people aren't going to agree with it, and the Eagles are heavily favored or whatever. I don't care. Give me the 49ers to win this game, and I'm going to go... I thought it was going to be a beatdown initially because I really don't like this Eagles offense. It does not impress me. But I'm going to say it's 26-23. I do think, and I'm not going to go back on my tree of trust, or, the trust tree, if you will, Z-Bot.
Well, I thought we were in the trust tree in the nest, are we not?
I trust Brock Purdy to get it done on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I believe he will do that. And I believe he will be playing Matthew Stafford and the Rams in SoFi Stadium next week.
Ooh, baby, I wouldn't mind that. And I know Jesse wouldn't mind it either. Jake's got Brock Purdy in the trust tree in this game against the champs. Jesse, do you think your Niners can go on the road in front of that fan base and get it done in the wild card round over the Eagles?
Yeah, the 49ers absolutely can get it done. And you look at the way this season has gone for the Eagles, it's not like they're some juggernaut world beaters, but I do think some of this on Jake's part is wishful thinking. The Eagles are like the one team that is the thorn in the side of the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, I'll play them right now.
Nothing more than for them to be bounced out by another team. But the reality is the 49ers are going to have to travel from West Coast to East Coast. George Kittle is going to play. CMC is going to play. Neither of them look like they are their full selves. If Trent Williams plays, he's not going to be 100%. We know Pearsall, if he plays, he's not going to be 100%. They've got a skeleton crew at linebacker. And say what you want about Jalen Hurts. He's not my cup of tea either. But Jalen Hurts performs in the playoffs. He's got 20 touchdowns to 4 turnovers total in the playoffs. Come playoff time, he runs the ball with efficiency and runs the ball a hell of a lot more than he does in the regular season. He averages about 9 attempts a game. And when I look at that offensive line that is healthy for the first time in a long time, that defense that is healthy for the first time in a long time, and I just know that the Eagles, player for player, are supremely talented and much more talented than the 49ers are at this stage during the season. The coaching staff edge certainly goes to the 49ers, and coaching does matter, but it only matters so much. And I think it's just a lot to overcome. When you look at the Eagles as far as the defense goes, they are extremely talented. They're not on the Seahawks level as far as their production, but they are actually better than the Seahawks in one key statistic, and it's slight, but that is passing yards allowed per game. They actually allow 4 yards less passing per game than Seattle. Now, you can run the ball a hell of a lot more on Philadelphia, and the 49ers are going to have to stick to the run game. They're not going to be able to do what they did last week. They're going to have to rely on that run game and hope they can bust some here. But ultimately, Brock Purdy against top 10 passing defenses in his career is 10-11 with 26 touchdowns and 19 interceptions. I don't think that they have the weaponry to get it done, and I think that Philadelphia has just enough to overcome some of their woes, and I'm actually going to pick the Eagles here. I'm going to go 23-20 Philly.
Oh, Jesse. Well, listen, if it's any consolation, I hope your Ducks get it done on Friday and go play for a national championship. That would at least be a pretty major consolation prize. But we'll see what happens. It should be a great game. Mike, what do you got for me?
Real quick, Oregon related. Is Dante Moore coming out? What the hell's going on with Dante Moore?
We don't know yet. We
Look
don't know
at
yet,
him.
man.
Is he kind of nice?
I think he should stay. Personally, I think he should stay. But I don't. He'll probably come out because how can you not when you're going to be a top 2 pick? But I wouldn't. I would stay if I was him. I think he needs another year.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, especially if you wind up landing with the New York Jets. I feel like you might want to go maybe run it back with the Ducks if that winds up being
that itself can
fate.
drive the decision.
Don't trade for Kyler. You're good.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that might be their only option because didn't the report come out, or I think it was Todd McShay who had a whole rant saying there's plenty of guys who are telling their guys, listen, if you're supposed to go to the Jets in the draft, just go back to school. And that's how bad it's going down in East Rutherford right now. All right, we are an hour in the books. It's time for the best part of the show. Brando, if you'd cue me in, it is time for Super Chats. By the
Real
way,
quick,
shout
Z-Bot,
out.
I want to recalibrate here because a lot of people came in later and they're asking about the hat. The hat's on its way. I'll wear it next Tuesday. We had to get a one-off hat from eBay specifically because it's no longer in production. However, there was a second hat bet that was made, and it was made through the chat. It was Dave on the 49ers side, and it was Herbicide on the Seahawks side. And Dave actually did get his Seahawks hat in time, and we've got a picture of him wearing said Seahawks hat. It's a bucket cap. Ugly bucket
Look
cap.
at that. Look how good you look in that. Huh?
I know he doesn't look
There
it,
you
but
go.
Dave is 6'8" in person. Somehow the picture I took made him look like he's a little guy, but he's not. 6'8". Yeah, he's massive. He's a big guy. So there he is in the Seahawks hat, cashing in on his side of the bet.
Awesome.
He made good on it, and I'll make good on mine Tuesday when the hat comes in.
Hell yeah.
We're getting hot
Can't wait
scalps.
to see it.
We're getting hot scalps over here in Seattle.
God, 6'8", Dave, can you play wide receiver? My Bills could use you on Wildcard weekend. 6'8", we'll just lob it up to you in the corner of the end zone. That's unbelievable. I can't wait to see this hat, by the way. The fact that you had to go to eBay to get it has me even more intrigued than I already was. So
It's
I just
hideous.
can't wait.
It is hideous.
so
And
good.
I'll tell you, if my prediction is right and the 49ers go home and I have to wear that hat on the back end of that happening, and if somehow Oregon loses, I might actually shed tears on this show. Like, that is a real possibility. It could get bad for me next week. So let's hope I at least win something here this weekend.
I hope you do. I said on my show the other day, it is the worst time of the year. It's the best time of the year because you've earned the right to play in single elimination football. It's the worst time of the year because your anxiety is at an all-time high. And in an instant, this entire thing you spent the entire fall rooting for and being a part of ends just like that. So we can't wait to see how it all goes down this upcoming weekend. Can't wait to dive into these super chats. By the way, shout out to everybody tuning in. We are at 1.4K tuned in concurrently on YouTube right now. Unbelievable. You guys continue to show up in droves. We appreciate and love each and every one of you. All right, let's get after it. 73 super chats and counting. We continue to set new records on this channel. Just unbelievable. Let's start it off with my main man, Kyle from South Park, saying Darnold has 8 touchdown passes and 10 interceptions. That's the Sam Darnold you're getting against teams that matter. Sam had 0 turnovers versus the Niners in Week 18. Niners don't matter now by your logic, right, Jesse?
Tennis, you're getting against team matter. Sam at 0. Niners don't matter now by your logic, right, Jesse? I don't know what he's talking about. I don't.
Well, you did predict the Niners to lose in the wild card, so I guess they really don't matter, right? I mean,
I don't. I guess what's the point here? What do you want me to say? I don't even understand the question. What was my logic that pertains to this? I'm confused.
Oh, man.
I swear to God. What are you talking about? I don't know.
Quinn will get it done. Guesses on who would be the best Arizona head coach. Mike, if you had one pick, just one pick, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but is there anybody that you immediately think of, or are you willing to kind of look at the field here and kind of play it out?
I mean, I'm willing to make a field, but I mean, if I'm going to get this question right now, of course, I'm gonna reach for the stars. Is it likely? Probably not, but I would love to have John Harbaugh here. I really would.
Yeah, that seems like it's going to be the answer for everybody. And when you have a coach of his caliber on the market. That clearly seems to be the right answer. Mark Sanchez coming in. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Felt the power of the dark side. As I said on Jesse and Brandon's show, roll them up, light them up, inhale, exhale, smoked them. 3 points. Man, yeah, I still can't get over the Niners not being able to get into the end zone. The Warhammer, they doubted us against the Niners and Rams. They said Sam was a downgrade. JSN wasn't a number one. They predicted us fourth. Now they're saying nothing, Brando. Go Hawks, man. The 12s are fired up. How could you not be the way this team's playing?
Oh, yeah, they are.
Just my opinion. I guess just kidding. Jesse, you don't look pretty.
Well, there's some super chats here that were done before the show. I've got them starred.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know if you can see them, but I can pull them up if you would like.
I would love if you could do that.
All right, we got about 5 or 6 of them here, so hang with me. He started out the show 20 minutes before we went live, and he says, stream hasn't started, and I know that Jesse looks pretty. He's obviously rescinded that in that second super chat. We got John coming in with a great last name, by the way. He says, Jonah says, Jesse's hat game is stellar. Appreciate that. You guys are
about to
far too
improve.
kind. Gross. Seth says, Niners offense got clamped. Go Hawks. That is very, very true. And then Taylor from the PNW says, I've been saying for weeks now that Mike will drop his huge heavy nuts on the Niners' faces week 18. Can you honestly say that that's not exactly what happened, Jesse? I would say that he did, in fact, drop his huge heavy nuts on the Niners' faces. And then Cal comes in and says, remember Mike and Brando's argument in the offseason about the Cardinals being a 6-11 team? Brando called it. Apologize, Mike. You were way off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. Way off. I apologize. Yeah. Way off.
We got Steel Fit coming in and says, Cards, Renter, the West, like Aragorn at Helm's
Lord of the Rings reference.
Lord of the Rings reference.
Yeah.
That's over my
I don't even know. I'm sure it's
huh?
fantastic. Yeah. Sure it's
I like that.
Vision
like that
Painting
too, man.
says that was supposed to be a matchup mismatch. Yeah,
Sherman
Seattle
reference
dominated pillar to post, that's for sure.
Mismatch.
Jordan says goalposts will be moved to Judge Sam. Can't wait for the excuses or whataboutism. No excuses, no whataboutism. I think the jury's still out. I answered that one beautifully, if I do say so myself. Uso says, bang, bang, no Dougie gang, LMAO, go Hawks. You're right. You're right. You're right. You guys got it. And then we got Vision Painting. This week's games are money. How you boys see them playing out. We just gave you our predictions, so we're good to go there. And then can you see where are you at?
I'm at Steel Fit, who's saying whose house?
Okay, so we got a few more. We got Duce, as you call him. Congratulations to the Seahawks winning the West. Rams still get the chip. Go Rams. And that's a 20 burger, Brandon, if you want to hit the claps.
My bad.
Wait a minute. So as I call him, what is it? Is this not
Deuce Falco?
It's what?
It's Deuce Falco, I think. Yeah.
Oh. Well, I like Deuce better, Deuce.
I do
So,
too. No, it's better.
Deuce, yeah.
Even when I filled in for you, I called them Deuce for you. So just so you know, it's a part of the show now.
Him and my man Jonah. Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Boy Yet Pogi says, I gotta admit, we lost pretty bad. Defense won it. Yeah, we did lose pretty bad. And then Seahawks C says, I said, oh baby, turn the lights off. Dark side. There you go. Now we're all caught up. You're good to go.
See, look at that.
There.
Plenty of time to get super chats in pre-show, and my internet doesn't work, and I'm currently using my phone as a hotspot. That's why I have looked like one of those JPEG images that are not safe for work, and they're blurred out, and you have to click on it on Twitter and say, show this image. That's kind of why I looked like that all night. So we appreciate you for all for piling in before the show while I tried to find a way to get an internet connection. Now that I do have one, we go to Steel Fit, who's saying, whose house? Card's house. Rise up, Red Sea, baby. Yeah, baby. Ooh. Cards fans are back. They're ready to rock, Mike. They're stoked up. They are ready to go and get into this offseason.
Mike's off limits. Cardinals are off limits. I got nothing.
Exactly. Exactly right. Dylan, everyone thought it was going to be the game of the year, but it was BELTAS. And if you're looking at this, it's an acronym. It should have been the GOY, but it was the BTA. And I don't give a damn, says Dylan. Seattle defense showed up and embarrassed San Francisco and fans on prime time. Yeah, I mean, game of the year, of course, because of all that was at stake. But if we're talking about the way the game actually played out, I don't think that was a candidate. That's for sure. Vision painting back in saying Hawks won't lose till next year. Go Rams. Wow, no losses until 2027. Looks like we're going to have just an unbelievable run here for the Seahawks. Yeah, here, Brandon. I know you're rooting for that.
I love
Tommy
what he's
Cox.
thinking. I love picking up what he's putting down.
I know you do. Tommy's saying, Mike, what's your opinion on the Gannon firing? And we've got that, and I think we know where you're at. Yeah, you're quite pleased with it, Mike, if I'm speaking for you correctly.
It needed to happen, yeah.
Yeah, after that 3-year stretch there, below 500 winning percentage, or far below it, I think Mike and the rest of Cards Nation is pretty happy about the future here. John May, the important score isn't 13-3; it's the 38-22 top, or is that time of possession? Yeah, time of possession.
That's right.
That's what the Hawks want their offensive identity to be. They've said so since preseason, and we talked about this throughout the year, Brandon. But just how happy are you now to see that? Because we knew this is what the Seahawks wanted to do: ground and pound, play elite defense, and that's really starting to come to fruition here.
Well, yeah, and I think quite frankly, it's what every team in this playoffs, at least in the NFC, is, I think off the top of my head, tries to do. I mean, even with Jake and the Rams, this is what they would ideally like to have with Stafford, is that he's somewhere between 25 to 30 attempts. He can go to 40 and carry the load for you, but they would love to have everything be balanced and allow you to not necessarily protect a guy at that point, but you're remaining balanced and you're able to be very lethal off the back of that approach. And that has been the plan. This is not that they've fallen into this. This is what they've been building up to, partly off the fact on those games through the opening half of the schedule where you weren't running the ball well. Jesse can tell you a lot about how the Shanahan offense and the run blocking element of it, it's not an easy one to learn necessarily. You don't just get a lineman in there and they're like, oh, that's the new scheme, we'll execute that. There's a lot of little intricacies within it, and it takes time, and you got to work at it. You got to stay committed to it. And they did so, and now they're getting the fruits of kind of putting that work into it.
Freddie Baseman saying, I can hardly wait to see Jesse's new hat. Yeah, if you thought the hype going into today was high, it's even higher now that we know that we had to dive into the depths of eBay to get this thing. So I cannot wait to see what's on top of Jesse's noggin a week from tonight. John May back in the building. Once Sharp scored, it was clear the Niners couldn't stop the run. From there, it's not about protecting Sam. You conservatively eat clock no matter who is quarterback. And they stuck with that, and they played safe football. They felt like in that game, Brando, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they just knew that they had the Niners number defensively. And I feel like they played their offense based off of that.
Yeah, as I said, deep in the third quarter, almost the fourth quarter, you were averaging 6 yards a carry, and both of your backs were finding effectiveness. When you're at that high level of a point, why get away from it? What's the point? I mean, just throw to throw at that point. I mean, they couldn't stop it.
Michael coming in and dropping off a tangerine for the fellas. He's saying, as a Hawks fan,
let's go, Michael.
We are so grateful we got Mike. He's calm, cool, and collected. And as a pillar of this NFC West Roundtable, it's one less creator to inflate their team. Who did you think I was talking about? Go Hawks.
I thought he was talking about Mike McDonald. I think he's talking about me.
He was talking about you the whole time. I knew it.
Oh.
I knew it.
I could have swore it was McDonald too, Mike.
I thought so too.
No.
Yeah.
We are so grateful we got Mike. He's cool, calm, collecting as a pillar of this. I was like, I already knew. I knew it.
I mean, Cardinals.
The backhand was coming.
I could tell. I was like, hold on. You guys don't call him McDonald. Oh, you don't call him Mike anyway. Like I've seen it.
I guess NFC West Roundtable should have given it away as opposed to saying the pillar of the Seahawks organization. That probably should have given me a hint, but it didn't. Mark Sanchez, that hat will be worth the wait. As a devoted and diehard Hawks fan, there's not enough money to get me to wear that thing, dead or alive. We have the Lord's disciple. Jesse, do you feel you played bad or simply got beat by a better team with a dominant defense? Even with Purcell and Williams, I think you lose that game, and you said so yourself, Jesse.
Yeah, we simply got beat by the better team.
Yeah, Mark coming back in saying, Mike, is Harbaugh the front runner for the next head coach? And I think based on your answer earlier, Mike, the answer would be yes, if it were up to you.
I mean, if it was up to me, it's a lot of money that you need to pay him. And obviously Michael Bidwell is known for not being very, spendy, I guess the worst word to say. He's my front runner. And I know the Cardinals actually have reached out to the agent per Adam Schefter At least Evan, at least we're kind of doing that. But that's my front runner. But I mean, I wouldn't mind Salah or Kubiak. So I mean, we got options. I'm excited.
Mike, Stefanski would be a good one.
Yeah, we're going to learn, Mike, a lot. To Stefanski or to the Harbaugh point, you're going to learn a lot about your owner and his ability to attract potentially viable candidates with this, because there is talent on this team. I mean, it's not like there's a complete void there. You can get out of the Kyler Murray contract. You don't have to inherit him like Gannon did.
Right.
But we will learn if they end up going for kind of another one of those like Mike Kafka.
Oh, good God. Mike, run for the hills. I've watched that dude coach the Giants, and no.
I want him on Hard Knocks. No.
No. I will say this. I think the Giants are going to have to fire Shane if they want to get John Harbaugh. I know that they've already done the presser, and Shane talked about how he appreciates this as an organization and you could stub your toe. I don't give a shit. You're gone. Like, if you want John Harbaugh, like, Harbaugh's going to literally have his pick of the litter. That was a stupid firing. Everybody knows it. And I knew it was coming, by the way. I had a feeling earlier in the year this was going to happen. But, yeah, Mike, I mean, it doesn't look good for your owner, but I really think he's going to want his own general manager. And I think that the Giants could blow this thing if they keep Shane. I really believe that.
Interesting note on Harbaugh, by the way. Schefter noted that 7 teams have already inquired on Harbaugh, including one team that has not fired their head coach. There is a large part of me that feels like Jerry Jones is going to throw his hat in the ring before this is all
By the way, listen to this stat real quick for Giants fans out there. If you happen to be a Giants fan, Giants won 178 games in the last 25 regular seasons. This is according to Marshall Green on Twitter. John Harbaugh won 180 games in the last 18 seasons. So that's what you're talking about. I mean, I can't believe the Ravens fired him because it's all because he wouldn't fire Monken. Just so stupid.
Yep. Steelers find themselves in the same boat, and I deal with this argument each and every year around this time of year with the Buffalo Bills. It's like when you get to a point of success that you can't break through, it gets to a point where you make some rash decisions that I think many people around the league would look at and kind of put a side eye to it. Dylan coming in. 19 Seahawks players have a tackle for loss. My God. How's that even possible? Sam Darnold out there getting a tackle for loss, Brandon? I mean, what the hell?
It's an intricate system that sends everybody at certain given times, though it's not hyper aggressive. So everybody's got an opportunity to go live in the backfield one point or another throughout the random parts of the game.
Orient saying, people keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. Shout out to John Wick. Orient saying this is Seattle Seahawks.
People are asking if I'm back.
Daddy's
people are asking if I'm back. I haven't really answered. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
You can do it all, by the way. I think I saw a comment the other day. Somebody was asking for a very obscure request from you and deep into the comment section going into the playoffs. Maybe they'll rear their head in here in the live chat at some point. But I said, listen, Brandon's bag is infinite. He'll be able to do it. You just got to hit him up on it. Holy grenade. Z-Bot with the right prediction for the West winner. How about my Hawks? Holy hand grenade. How about my Hawks getting it done? Making me look like a genius.
Z-Bot, we said it halfway into the year with all of the scientific stuff that was going on, the advanced analytics. They were firing protons in a little shell, and it spit out from the nerds, the scientists, and the lab coats. They said it's going to be Buffalo and Seattle.
Damn right.
I'm just saying it was like AI being used to predict the model of the future type stuff. It was that deep.
I know we all have different opinions on AI, but I've never wanted it to be more right than I do right now. And I'm hoping
that mentalist said Rams Broncos, by the way. I'm just saying.
Oz there or O's?
I don't know. That he just showed up and was like, yeah, it's gonna be the Rams Broncos, and I think it was like Rams 38, Broncos 20. I was like, that sounds about right.
Oh my God, I would not love that. Freddie coming in saying Rams will take care of the Panthers. And I think Freddie has every right to be confident. Vegas is quite confident in the Rams, 10-point favorite on the road. Michael coming back in. The Cardinals should trade their most valuable asset at this time to rebuild. Trade Mike to the Jets for a second, and we will see him with a new contract, wearing a gold chain and sunglasses soon. Go Hawks. Mike is in this, Mike. We're trading you to the Jets? Mike, I wouldn't allow it. I'd have to veto it. Trust me, I can't allow you to do that.
Mike, as somebody that covered the Jets for a year, don't ever go that route.
Oh, yeah. No,
don't do it.
I'll never.
I mean,
I live in AZ.
Like October.
People don't. I live
here. He came to us all and he's like, how does your guys' organization? I mean, how is it? Is it nice to cover? It's like going over to Jake and Jesse.
I felt
it must
so
be really
bad.
Nice you guys covering a winner, huh? It's like, it's as good as you think it'll be. Like if it happens, when it happens, well, I know. Like he's talking about falling in love or something. It's like, poor guy.
I know it's awful. That's the worst owner in professional sports. He's awful. He's so bad. Aaron Glenn should not be a coach. He never should have been hired to begin with. And Robert Saleh, the day they scapegoated him, they set their franchise back by 10 years.
Let's just put it this way. Kyler to the Jets. Let's go.
I mean,
they just put together the worst month of football in NFL history, by the way, in December. Nobody had been outscored by more points in the history of the league in 1 month than the Jets just did in December. And they followed that up against the Bills' backups by losing 35-8. They are a complete dumpster fire.
And
they never saw an interception.
Money. And then
that too.
Fields dead money.
Yep, that's right. I mean, it's hilarious, to be honest with you. How you couldn't just laugh, I have no idea. Retired young and traveling, sounds pretty good to me. Finally figuring out how to send super chats from overseas. $10 international NFL stream package equals $200. Bathing in the tears of delusional lambs and whiners backing into the playoffs equals priceless. Not a bad lifestyle right there. Retired, young, and traveling, $10 stream package. Man, it's got it all figured out. Vision painting. Eminem is on another level. I knew he would have us competing with anyone this year. Just listen to the man talk. No BS, just chasing edges. We here. Dylan Sosa saying this game was a fluke. Should have been 27-0. Myers had his worst game of the year. Niners only scored because his kick out of bounds put them at the 40-yard line. Yeah, an uncharacteristic game from Myers. This score should have been a little bit more inflated, I guess, but it wasn't a great kicking game, kicking outing for many people around the league, including Baltimore Ravens fans. Steel Fit. There's a new bird in town. Hope y'all enjoyed the free division wins this year. Not happening again. Time to play our brand of hardball. Oh, wow. Already making up.
Good run, boys.
Turns.
Good run.
Watch out. There's a reason there's 4% Cardinal fans now. From 2 to 4. We're coming up, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what? If Harbaugh were to take the Cardinals job, though, you'd have to really take a look throughout history in terms of one of the best coached divisions ever. I mean, seriously, it would just be off the charts if that wound up coming to fruition. Jordan's coming in. Ravens should hire Saleh. He would be a great fit for that culture and team. Real quick, Jesse, do you think Saleh's leaving the Niners? You think a job's pretty much guaranteed for him here?
You know, I didn't think he was going to get a job, but with 8 openings, and he hired a new agent, he's going to be gone. He's going somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, it feels like a foregone conclusion. Plus, like we talked about earlier with the Jets, you really can't judge him on his resume there because you really can't judge anybody on their resume there. Ask Brando and Sam Darnold. John May. Jake, coming into the year, some feared Stafford would wear down and fade as the season went on. Is that what we saw down the stretch? Will he get worse? I mean, Jake, we go back a few months ago and people thought Stafford wasn't even going to be able to walk out on the field, and now he probably is the MVP and he's going into the playoffs.
Remember I told you guys that they knew nothing? They were all just saying a bunch of slop just to get you to click on their stories and whatnot. They knew nothing. His back was fine. I told you it was fine. And sure enough, it ended up being fine. No, Stafford isn't falling off. Stafford threw over 450 yards against that defense that you just saw. And I understand there were injuries Brand would point to, and I get that. It was a short week, but short week for Stafford. And to do that in their backyard like that, no, he's not fading down. I think I will, going back and watching the Carolina Panthers game, I'll say I don't even think he played that bad in that game. I think the Falcons game was objectively the first bad game he's played this year. And the Cardinals game, he looked really good, and he's the MVP. I mean, anyone else that had 46 touchdowns and 8 interceptions wouldn't lose the MVP to somebody who has 31-8. I'm sorry. It would never happen. It's now Stafford, so it's up in the air. If you gave that to Mahomes, you gave it to Allen, you gave it to Lamar, Burrow, they all win MVP. I don't care what anyone says.
Why you mad, bro? Says go Hawks, and shout out to Jesse saying go Ducks, baby, rooting for Oregon on Friday night. Cool breeze. Jesse with a very classy take. Can't say that of all losers, all love, fam, for real. What up, Brando?
Here.
Jeremiah. You're right, Jesse. The Seahawks are like the 1990s. Great defense, but an arsonist as your quarterback. It's only a matter of time until he implodes. Frisco. The turning point in the second Niners versus Seahawks game was the Niners going 3 and out on the first 2 drives. Yeah, slow start for the Niners in that game. And really, it was tough throughout. I mean, that's just what happens when you're going up against that juggernaut of a defense. Where are we at here? This one's not clicking for me. Marky Sanchez. I'm clicking here. There we go, Mark. Good to see you. B, how great would it be to see Sammy Darnold holding that Lombardi trophy on Niners grass? Speak it into existence.
I'm just saying, it's been a storybook season, and having a chance to beat these 2 teams that have had our number for many years now in order to get to this place, not just get it, but get on the back of kind of taking down 2 big foes against us, to then go and win it. Sam to then disprove all these folks that have said all this stuff about him throughout. I'm not poking here. I'm talking nationally, that it would be very satisfying to see not only for my team, but for Sam, who's a very easy guy to root for at the quarterback position.
Speaking of Sam, Tommy Cox is saying 100% Sam needs to show up next week. He gets a week of rest this upcoming weekend, and hopefully for Seahawks fans, he is a 100% version of himself in the divisional round. John May saying, Jesse, on your post-game show, you said the Niners will lose to the Eagles. If they do, what was the injury that finally broke the camel's back for this season?
Believe it or not, I think it was Michael Williams. That was about a week before the trade deadline. I think the 49ers were going to look to be aggressive. They had just brought in White from the Patriots. I think they were going to pair him and Michael Williams in some sort of NASCAR or turbo package up the middle on 3rd downs. 2 guys that can also stop the run at the edge. And ultimately, once that injury happened, it was like, well, we can't make up for Michael Williams and the Bosa injury with one trade deadline, so they kind of sat on their hands. So I would say that's probably the one.
Vision stopping back in. Great slate this weekend. How you boys see it playing out? Shout out to y'all for the passion you bring. Great work, and shout out to you, Vision. Does anybody have any changes to their Super Bowl prediction, or are you guys pretty locked in on what you had in the beginning of the year?
I mean, I had the Ravens, so I can't have them anymore. So I'll go F it. I'll go to your side, Jake. I'll go Rams Bills. Why not?
I'm going to change mine. I'm sorry.
I think I had the Bills. I had the Bills in there. I forget who I had. Might have either had Eagles or Rams at the start of the year. So
I don't remember who I had.
You know,
if you had to pick right now,
pick one nice.
I had Rams Bills, and I just don't think they're going to beat Jacksonville. And honestly, if I was a Bills fan, I'd be a little worried because now they're being like favored in that game. And I just, you don't want to give Jacksonville any more, momentum at this point. Liam Cohen is doing an outstanding job. Anthony Campanile has just completely changed that defense. I just don't see them winning that game. I'm going to go with the Texans. I think they have the best defense in the National Football League in a different way. I think Seattle has the best run defense right now, but I think when you look at the Texans secondary, no one wants to throw against them, whether it's Bullock, whether it's Petrie, right? Whether it's Lassiter, you look at Stingley, and then just the type of coach, the type of coach that D'Amico Ryans is. I mean, he's just so special, and I just think all CJ Stroud has to do is play average, and that defense is going to win ugly games. And I think it's going to be Rams-Texans in the Super Bowl. I think the Rams are going to play every single team they play will be a team they played during the season. And I think, funny enough, we saw the Super Bowl preview, week 1, Rams-Texans. I think the Rams win it again. So I think the Rams are going to beat the Texans in the Super Bowl.
Mike, who you got playing in it?
I'm just gonna switch it up. We're gonna switch it up. I'm gonna say Texans and Seahawks. I'm gonna give some love to the people in the chat here. They're trying to rip my head off, so I got you guys, Seahawks. And
that's
Texans.
my modification. I'm going Seahawks Bills. I'm staying with what the science said.
Damn right you are, Brando. And Mike, to your prediction, the over/under for that game, I looked through my my crystal ball. It would be 24.5. So we'll be treated to a defensive battle in that one should that come to fruition. Jordan saying you can critique the turnovers, but he has shown plenty that if you need a drive, that he isn't scared. And he does drive you down the field. I think we are talking about Sam Darnold here, and he'll have plenty of opportunities going into January.
I'll tell you something that I learned early on in life. You don't have to be scared to get your ass whooped. So it doesn't matter that he's not scared. Do you produce is what matters.
And we shall see. Won't have to produce this week.
In that Vikings game, I can tell you that much.
That's the thing, though. Same spot last
year.
Has been
scared bring us back this year multiple times over. I'll tell you that.
Have you guys... do yourself a favor, and I mean no disrespect to Sam Darnold. Do yourself a favor and look up Paul Allen and I'm not talking about the guy from American Psycho. I mean, Paul Allen, the announcer for the Vikings.
Vikings, baby.
Oh, he has the greatest calls you'll ever hear. I mean, he's at one point in that Rams-Vikings game saying, he's holding it too long. Throw it, man. Like, it was the funniest thing ever. Definitely look up Paul Allen of the Vikings. He has one against the Cardinals, Mike, you would love. He's like, Josh McCown throws it, and he's like, and he throws it on fourth down. No! Like, it's the funniest thing ever. Like, the best one is Brett Favre getting picked off.
Oh, it's the best.
It's like, you could take a knee and kick a 54-yard field goal. It's like, come on, man. This isn't Detroit. This is the Super Bowl.
Classic.
I'm telling
John
you, everybody
May.
in the chat, look it up.
Brando, Seattle loss to the Bucs was off of an INT deflected at line of scrimmage. Seemed like bad luck, but then kept happening versus Minnesota, Carolina, Indianapolis, etc. Lucky it didn't cost them versus those teams. Will it cost them in the playoffs?
Well, I think as we saw with the Niner offense this past week, that when you run the West Coast offense, which is designed as on the short passing attack, that means you're going to put it at risk of getting tipped, and that there's a price of doing business in this offense for that. Does he have it happen maybe a little bit more? Yeah, but I would offer that any West Coast offense that's being run with even a Shanahan on down, you're going to see a good number of these throughout the year. And it's not on the back of bad decision making. It's quite literally that this is just what you're going to get. Defenders are very smart, and more than ever before, they're jumping up into those passing lanes to knock the ball down. It's what caused the interception this last week on Brock Purdy. It's not Purdy making a bad decision. The man's open. It's just the defender makes a great play to tip it, send the ball off astray, and now you get an interception. So you want to run your offense, you're going to have to sometimes put some risk involved. There's no offense that's not going to put a little bit of things at risk at times, and that's just part of what this offense goes by.
Josh Schmitz, I just need Jake to admit Seattle is as good as the Rams. If we win round 3, it's going to be the Rams that lost it instead of Seattle being better.
Well, my thing is this. I think the Rams are more talented. I think they're the better team. And I think that the Rams offense is better than Seattle's defense. Like, I think that's the disparity there. I think the Rams have a top 10 defense. I think Seattle does not have a top 10 offense. And I think the Rams have the best offense in the league. And I think Seattle has the second best defense. And so, you look at the special teams, and if you want to say that's the difference, sure. But, I think the Rams are the better team. And I could be proven wrong, and I'll be the first one to admit, if the Rams lose to Carolina, then they just weren't as good as I thought. I'm not going to be making excuses. I'm not going to be talking about the refs. I've said it all week. Like, if the Rams were to lose to Carolina, then I was just wrong. And I'll be the first one to admit that. But I do believe the Rams are the best team. They have been the best team, and they're going to show it the rest of the way.
Retired young and traveling, Jake looks like Kip from Napoleon Dynamite. Check out my sweet gold chain. I've been chatting with hot chicks online. Hawks going to send Rams to Cabo.
Your mom goes to college.
Peace out. I got to rewatch. That's one of my all-time favorite movies.
You
ever.
had better hope the Hawks send the Rams to Cabo.
Listen, retired young and traveling, you wish you could land a LaFonda. You wish that was in your bag of tricks. Boyette, I can't wait for Rams versus Seattle and Niners versus Bears. Boyette, with his predictions, dropping them on the table. Dylan stopping by. Can you honestly say?
Yeah, that can't happen. I was just sitting there
happen.
trying to figure that. That's not the way that works.
That can't happen. So
Wait, what?
You're going to be waiting a long time, brother.
Yeah.
How would
It can't happen.
The only way you're
Literally can't
playing
happen.
the 49ers is if the Bears lose the Packers.
Yeah.
the 49ers are either playing Seattle or the Rams, right? They that's it. They can't.
Yeah. The 6 seed
Or
literally cannot play the 2 seed. That's a matchup that cannot happen in round 2.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe in 2027, boy. Yeah,
And the Bears aren't winning
that
that anyway, by the way. The Packers are going to beat them.
I agree.
Really? We'll see about that one. Dylan, can you honestly say Kyle Shanahan put his players in the best position in that game, Jesse?
No. He didn't put the best players on the field either. So, no.
Well, there you have it, Dylan. Hope that answered your question. Wu-Tang Financial. Appreciate Jesse being a good sport. Good luck against the Birds. We want that smoke again for the trilogy. Excited for the return of Charles Cross, the notorious Mac, for Coach of the Year. Yeah, I'm sure he's got to get a couple of votes. It might be tough. Kyle Shanahan, Liam Cohen. There's a lot of worthy candidates. Mike Vrabel this year. I feel like it's one of those years where you don't truly know who's going to win that award. So it'll be interesting to see who ends up getting it. Steel Fit saying Harbaugh plus Sal plus what do we got? Kubel?
Kubiak probably.
Oh. Who's Sal?
Saleh.
Harbaugh,
Saleh.
All right, Steel Fit. I'm going to need you to write the whole word next time because my brain does not
Okay, so
work
he means
like
any
that.
of those guys. He means either
any
of
of
those
those guys.
three.
Okay.
All right. It looks like an
Harbaugh's
equation to
probably
me.
going to bring Monken now I think about it. So, Mike, are you okay with that?
Don't kill my vibe. Just talk Harbaugh, okay?
I'm just telling you, he literally was fine with getting fired because he wouldn't fire Monken. I mean, that's probably, I would imagine, the guy he's going to choose as his offensive coordinator.
But I also do feel like Lamar Jackson and him kind of came to a crossroads, and I think they
That's
chose
more
Lamar.
of what's
I
that's
think they
the
chose
part
Lamar.
to me with this, where it's like, Lamar finally kind of broke down, like we're seeing, I think, with Cam a little bit, where it's like you got those guys age fast when they run their bodies like a running back to a part of their career, and I think Lamar's starting to hit that head.
I don't think he's been healthy at all the whole year.
I agree with that too. But appreciate you, Steele.
Yeah, talk about an all-time for the boys moment, though. Literally getting fired from your job because you're saying, listen, I'm not letting my guy walk. Freddie coming in. Jesse calls it like it is. Simple as that. Mark Sanchez coming in. He's dropping off a tangerine for the fellas. Everyone needs to remember Pete is gone. This is a different team with a different culture. Now, my bad. It's the lag of the brilliant. I don't even want to go down that route. I'm just don't even ask. This is a different team with a different culture. Head coach Mac is coach of the year. The helmets on the spikes are growing. Jesse, did I mention that I can't wait to see you with that hat on your noggin? Did Mark mention that?
Let him know. Let him know, Mark.
Mark, I hope you rot in jail.
Oh man. By the way, I'm so sorry for Pete. By the way, I wish he never would have came back. It was so sad to see him come back and go out like that. It was just a rough watch. Steel Fit. Mike's got that fire in his gut on the show now. Oh yeah, we got a new Mike, baby. No doubt about it. Seth. Oh, Purdy couldn't do his stupid dance. Man, I'm the only one who liked the Purdy dance. I feel like
He's
getting ripped for that. Thank you, Mike. I thought he hit
run
that
for
thing,
two
man.
touchdowns, and you get to do whatever dance you want. How about that?
I agree. We got our girl Megan dropping off a tangerine. Greetings, gents in chat. Just home from an early birthday lunch for my mother, and I'm enjoying the 1 seed bye. Looking good in the shades, Brando. And to Jesse and Niners fans, ain't karma a bitch? Let's go, Hawks.
Not ever.
Man, oh man, Megan, you want to talk about telling it like it is, Megan?
Let him know,
Holding
Megan.
nothing back. Tommy Cox, Mike McDonald should be coach of the year, and Schneider, GM of the year. Mark Sanchez, I'm a Hawk and Husky fan. Even though I don't like Jesse a couple of days out of the year, I ultimately respect him. He took it on the chin. P.S. Can't wait for the hat, man. The hype is
all right. I hope
up.
you get out for good behavior now. I feel bad.
There you go. Trungdu, if I got that right. We are witnessing the beginning of a dynasty. John Schneider nailed the previous 4 draft classes, makes great free agent moves, in-season moves. Wilson trade was huge. Wow, dynasty talk already here,
Calling
Brandon.
a dynasty before you even have a 1 ring is a all right.
Before you even won a
lot.
playoff game. I mean,
That's
come on
insane, man. Come on.
Brandon's
You
loving
can
it.
hear
Look at him. He's
Trudge
still
that you
loving it.
triggered something there in saying that. I think that they saw.
Well, listen,
suddenly the
Seattle's not
future
going
ahead of
anywhere.
them and they went,
That's true.
No,
the
Seattle's
truth
not
is
going
that
anywhere.
could
But
happen.
dynasty, come on, man.
By the way, the
That's-
last time a 1 seed in the NFC won the Super Bowl, it was in 2017. So I don't know
About
if I'm
time
calling
something
them a
changes,
dynasty.
Brando.
We've had the last 3 times we've had the number 1 seed, we've gotten to the Super Bowl. So
Ooh.
This Seahawks
I'm
team
just
would have to
saying.
be better than the LOB Seahawks team in order to be a dynasty, because that team wasn't a dynasty. So
well, that team
That's
had
a lot. That's
that's where
rich.
health though. The reason that team wasn't a dynasty had much to do with the health. They fell apart.
I got you, but it can happen at any time. It's hard to win in this league
100%.
for many
But
years. so.
this team is ahead of schedule, and
Especially when you don't
they're the
have
youngest
Tom
roster.
Brady or Patrick Mahomes. You got Sammy Dimes. I'm just throwing it out there. All right, go ahead.
I understand,
I was
but
waiting
it's
for that.
the youngest roster in football right now getting this done.
By the way, in
They're
terms
good.
of
They're good.
seeding, because it's not just the 1 seed, Did you guys know that there hasn't been a 3-seeded NFC team to win the Super Bowl since the strike year in the 80s with the Washington Redskins?
Interesting.
So you're saying the Eagles are screwed?
Well, the Eagles, I don't know if they are, because if any team is going to overcome that, the last 8 years, they have finished in every single scenario. They've had every single seed, and they've missed the playoffs. You can't, they literally touched on every single scenario that they could have in the last 8 years. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. That actually is nuts. I did not know that. Frisco, would Niners take Card's third-round pick for Jones? Well, you mentioned it. You mentioned it earlier. Yeah. At first, I thought he meant the third overall, and that's why I chuckled. But then I saw he said a third round. But maybe you get the third overall. I don't know. Mac Jones, my God. I mean, that was QB1 for half the season.
I don't think so.
Third round pick would be rich. They'd probably get a fourth for him.
Nah, Kirk Cousins is coming to Arizona.
Oh, gosh.
Stop it. The vibe, y'all. Vibe.
I'm sorry. Who do you want, by the way? If you can't, okay, Mike, how about this? You can't draft a quarterback. It has to be somebody in the league right now. Who is most likely and who would you want in Arizona?
That you're drafting a quarterback. I don't want to have this conversation.
You wouldn't try to get Joe Burrow?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, of course I would. Hell yeah.
Would you try for Dak?
No, Joe Burrow. If you're gonna put a lot of capital in it, it's gonna be Joe Burrow.
So you'd only try for Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
What about Lamar?
Okay.
Well, maybe that's
all
off the
the
table
lack
probably now.
All the lack of success you've had in drafting quarterbacks, and you still want to make that the first thing you guys do on a reset.
Well, if Joe Burrow was that, he's the top of the list, no doubt.
Wouldn't you
He's
want to
the
get
top.
more of the roster on point though before you start jumping for QBs?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, if it's first round picks, you got some second round picks. We got some money to allocate. I mean, we got some weapons. I mean, I think we'll be able to put Sam Darnold here. I mean, I'm sorry. Wow,
there.
Joe Burrow. Sorry, Joe Burrow.
Tua's sitting there.
No, stop it. Okay, fine. All right,
He's tapping the helmet, Mike. He's tapping the helmet. He's ready to
Taps
go.
the helmet.
sees
He's going to
something.
Arizona.
He
It's
sees
Michael
Arizona.
Wilson, but you can't get it to him. You can't throw that far.
Where are we at here? We got Senior Psycho. Imanwari should win Defensive Rookie of the Year, and he's going to be living rent-free in the heads of the rest of the division for years to come. Go Hawks. Jordan stopping back, saying you can see Mike's excitement drain from him when Rodgers was mentioned.
Yes.
I just need
I'm
Rodgers to
being
eliminate
serious
the Texans.
because I just want to know. What are you thinking? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Dak would be a great fit.
That would be
Thinking
interesting.
work.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Slimy. Hawks beat everyone they are supposed to, while the Rams lost to the Panthers, Falcons, and Zombie Niners, and the Seahawks are the ones everyone questions. Keep doubting my Hawks. Keep doubting them. We'll see what
Right.
happens in the
Let him
postseason.
nosy bot.
Senior Psycho. It's good to see Mike smile. It's been far too long. Damn right. It's been earned. Earned, Mike. You deserve it. Nunya, Jesse, as a Seahawks fan, I couldn't agree with your take on Darnold anymore. And to be fair, Brandon, there does seem to always be excuses for Darnold. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you, Nunya. I think in this past game, it's tough to really find an angle on Darnold where it wasn't necessary for him to have to do much here.
Well, and there are two play throws in particular that are the bad result. And they're often the worst result in the bad results for Sam. And I think that's the part that I'll try to be as nuanced as I can within it. But as much as anything, having his back, it's this sort of ethereal thing that gets brought up. That's almost sort of this mental deficiency by which he has. He's got all the physical tools, but suddenly mentally, he's just going to cave in suddenly. And that's where, I'm going to be heartily having that guy's back because that's not what we've seen. That's not what we've seen by and large over 2 years. Can you find a play here or there? Can you take a game over here? Sure you can, but what have we seen in the totality of it? And it's not to put him above anything. I'm not trying to dress him up as a top 5 quarterback. I'm saying the guy's a top 10 quarterback and that can win you a Super Bowl. It's won it multiple times over just the last 13 years alone. We won a Super Bowl, went to back-to-back Super Bowls with top 10 quarterback play. The Broncos won a Super Bowl, not having even top 10 quarterback play. The Eagles have gone to 2 Super Bowls without top 5 quarterback play. They won it last year. So this has been proven out a lot of times over. And so that's what I am so shocked with is so many people struggle to wrap their head around this concept as though it's some foreign alien item that there's no possibility of it occurring. Quite the opposite.
Dylan dropping off a tangerine for the boys, saying Seattle was plus.
All right. I'll give him the love here. Gotta give him the love.
Give the love.
Thank you,
Gotta
Dylan.
give the love. Plus 580 to win the NFC West in August. LA and San Francisco made me clench a few times, but 580 later, Yeah,
Let's
it's good to
go.
be a Seahawks fan. Dylan putting his money where his mouth is, and it paid off. Love it, Dylan. Vision saying, yo, B, get some rest. The way you drink, you will need it when the Hawks win it all. You all are beasts at the craft. Z-Bot, he takes it to another level. Vision, appreciate you for stopping by. And yeah, Brando, tell you what, you thought the LA excursion was a fun one. Imagine hitting that parade. I couldn't even imagine.
Taking a
Good
sip.
God. We got Cool Breeze. This super is purely time for Brandon to talk that shit. Go ahead, Brandon. Take a minute here.
Hey, best defense in all of football. Team playing its best football at this time of year. All your starters on both sides of either ball, and you got the best special teams unit in all of football. What you couldn't ask for a better angle into the playoffs. Wherever you might see this team in, we could not be in better shape with this number one bye to go out there and win this thing.
Roger Morales stopping by saying Carolina Mike needs those 150,000 to get over the BTA they are about to get. Also, I just wanted to say thank y'all for every show during the regular season. Always a highlight during the week. Roger, thank you, my friend. We appreciate the support all throughout the season, and we look forward to hanging out with you throughout the postseason here. Best part of the year. Tommy Cox stopping in saying, I've been believing that Seattle will play the Rams again. Be interesting to see what ends up happening here, but I do think we do see paths cross with at least one of the matchups possible within this division here before it's all said and done. Retired, young, and traveling. Congrats to the 12s for winning the toughest division in football. The world wants to see the Rams versus the Hawks, as Tommy Cox just alluded to, in the NFC title game. Don't blow it, Hams. Let's go Hawks. Senior Psycho back in. Don't forget, in 2010, the 7-9 Seahawks upset the defending champs in the first round. Slimy back in, and he's saying, I think what everyone misses when talking about Darnold is that we don't need him to be this good. You guys think he's going to be in the playoffs. And Brandon, you kind of just alluded to that. You've given plenty of examples of teams that have made it to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl without this top 1 to 5 quarterback play. And I think that's the message that Slimy's kind of putting out here. As long as Darnold plays serviceable football, the Seattle Seahawks have a chance. And look at what it's led to up until this point. They got the 1 seed heading in to the postseason. We got Joseph Hernberg saying Niners need a complete regime rebuild. Disgusting.
Ooh.
Jesse, welcome back, brother.
That is reverse stuff? Isn't that his reverse psychology?
Oh, that's right.
No, he does, but I mean, there is something to this. It's tough because Seattle's not going anywhere. Again, Dynasty's a bit rich, but this is a young team that's not going anywhere. The Rams aren't going anywhere. We'll see what Arizona ends up hiring and bringing in. Maybe they can do something, but the 49ers just, who's the core players 2 years from now? CMC's gone, Trent's gone, Kittle's 34 years old at that point. Warner's 31 and coming off this injury. Bosa has 3 ACL tears and is 30. Like, who are the core players that you're building around? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So,
The Lord's disciple. I think you really touched on it, Jesse. CMC and Kittle are, wow, how about this? CMC and Kittle are on their last leg, I feel, and that's a lot of that offense. It heavily leads on those two. And I haven't really thought about that until you just brought that up, Jesse. When you listed it out the way you just did, I mean, it does feel like it's a now or never type situation. They've made a couple of incredible runs, and they look to be able to try to do that again this upcoming weekend here. My main man, Ram, look at that. Look at that profile picture, by the way. Go ahead and take a look at that. If you can squint your eyes. Guess who that is? That's your boy Bot. And Ram's saying, you boys got to get Z-Bot in on these hat bets. So that hat right there would be a drinking hat. That would be a drinking hat. And if you squint your eyes, you might see a couple of Four Locos in there.
That's you?
That is me. That is me.
Why do you look like Ben Rice?
Who?
Ben Rice of the New York Yankees. You look just like Ben Rice.
Is he any good? I'm not a baseball guy.
I think he's a pretty damn good first baseman.
All right, then I'll take it. Listen, I'll tell you what, Ram, there will be a major hat bet if it winds up being the Bills versus the Rams, the Niners, or the Hawks. I'll tell you that right now. There will be a hat on the line. I can assure you that, and I will be scared to death, because especially if it's the Hawks. We got Boyette. Yeah. Jags by dark horse in the playoffs. So apparently that's not going to happen. No hat bet, according to Boyette. We have what do we got here? Theodore Is that, yeah? Theodora? Yeah.
Archuleta.
Theodora Archuleta, man, you guys know I'm just making it up as I go. We have Deshaun Johnson, best Mr. Irrelevant in the NFC West. Wow. Shots fired, Jesse.
He's not, but I love him, and I'm excited for his run in the playoffs because I think 94 is going to be a guy that you'll hear his name and you won't know who he is unless you listen to the NFC West Roundtable, then you will. But I think he's going to come up big in this playoff run.
Jonah, better known as John Naylor. Dave's a good dude. I still can't believe he's 6'8". 6'8". That is insane. Couldn't be more jealous because, as you know, my lower half of my body, it's like 2 feet, and then the upper half is like 3 feet, whatever. Propa, way too early prediction. Who wins the division next year? Let's just get into it. Let's just dive into it, fella. Let's start talking about those Arizona Cardinals and the rebuild coming our way here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
How about it, Mike? How about it? Let's start early. It's the best YouTube username on the internet. It's Brown Sausage. Crazy playoffs inbound. Happy to be in here with house money. You guys are great. Much love. Go Hawks. Much love to you, Brown Sausage. We got T Guns. Jesse, you broke my heart as a Niners fan. Enjoy the Eagles game, man.
Well done. Well done. Didn't he do this a couple weeks ago with
He's been firing them, man.
That
Photoshop.
Good. The Photoshop
Getting a
is
workout over at
incredible.
T-Guns.
I might need to hire you to make some of my thumbnails. I'm not gonna lie. This is
No
good.
kidding.
You got good Photoshop skills.
Nailing it. Look at the accuracy, too. It's not like he has to crop out anything. It's all perfectly done. It's
No, he
brilliant.
does a good
We
job.
just need Jesse in a Sam Darnold jersey, and that'll be the.
Ew, gross. So why did you give him
Oh,
any
no.
ideas?
On
What
that
are we doing,
great
Jake?
idea.
What the?
That was
I thought we were
awesome.
friends,
Yes,
man.
We are
I'm
friends.
logging
I had
off.
to wear a
I need
49er
that.
jersey. I don't want to hear shit.
I need that.
True to the blue. San Francisco's black jerseys look like the black Cards jerseys. Are the rivalry jerseys forever retired now? I think they're still going to wear them once a year moving forward, if I'm not mistaken. They shouldn't have worn them in that game, though, by the way. I mean, that game was so big. It was such a classic game. I feel like you got to save those for games that are not like as big as that game was. If that makes sense.
No, if
Country
you won
Western
in the
Front
rivalry jerseys,
jersey.
you deserve to keep them.
Oh, my Bills will never be wearing them again. People want them burned, by the way, in Buffalo. They never want to see them again.
They look
That's been the
terrible.
narrative.
I hated the Buffalo Bills ones. I like the Patriots ones. I like the
Oh,
Rams
I
ones.
hated those.
You didn't like the Patriots?
No, the blue, it's just, no, I did not like them at all. I
worst
hated the
one
font.
was either the skid mark Cardinal ones. Sorry, Mike.
Don't listen, Mike. Don't listen.
Or
It's just a hater, man.
Or it was the one that they, oh my God, freaking the Jets had an entire uniform based on a manhole cover. I just, who the hell thought of that?
Well, as we know, they're not really using their full brain power over there in East Rutherford. So I can't imagine that was a half-baked attempt, I think.
I was terrible.
We got KXM. He's 6'8"? Yeah, that's what I said. I still can't believe this. Can Dave play corner for the Rams? I'm getting tired of these corners. No, I already divsed him. He's playing wide out for the Bills on Sunday. I need him. Sorry.
You're not kidding.
Right? I think
Throwing
the
jump
Hawks are
balls to
destined.
Brandon Cooks. What are we doing over in Buffalo?
You're not kidding. Like, I'm telling you, Dave, like, if you could just suit up, we could get you some playing time here. Propa, I think the Hawks are destined to lose to the Rams, to be honest.
Ooh,
It'd be a hell
I'm
of a
liking
championship.
Propa. I believe you're right, by the way.
Well,
I believe you're right.
I just want it to happen. I want to see the divisions collide. I'm just rooting for that. Nitsu, Seahawks or Rams will win the NFC. Who will be our AFC matchup in the Super Bowl? Nitsu, we touched on it earlier. We went through it. We got some Texans picks, some Bills picks. Be interesting to see. Space, why so quiet today, Jake?
Because you're all yelling at me every time I open up my mouth. I mean, I don't want you to talk. I want you to talk. I'm getting mixed signals here.
Bomb. If Rams beat the Panthers and the Niners beat the Philly cheesesteaks, Jake knows he wants that hat bet for the divisional round at SoFi.
No, I don't. I would never, ever, ever do a hat bet with Jesse. I love Jesse to death. I will never put my dad through seeing me in a 49ers hat. I'll never do it. Never do it. Ever.
Respect it. Boyette, Cards should get Spagnuolo and Mike McDaniel as offensive coordinator.
No.
McDaniel is not even fired. So
Right? He's still no. Nah.
He might be, but not right now.
Yeah.
Kevin dropping off what I like to call a boysenberry.
Go, Kevin.
Boysenberry for the boys. Kevin saying, Jesse, you're
Boysenberry.
classy for a Niners fan. San Francisco will smoke Philly, and there will be riots in the city of brotherly love. I told everyone last week the key to the Hawks winning was keeping Purdy on the bench. Time of possession is legit against Shanahan and McVay. Go Hawks. Kevin's got the Niners rolling over the Eagles this upcoming weekend. Kev, really appreciate that super chat. Thank you so much, my man.
Thank you, man.
Dylan
Very
Sosa.
kind.
When Jesse closes his eyes, all he sees is Demon Wari. Joseph. Walter Nolan has more touchdowns than Ricky.
Damn.
That's
funny.
He's not lying, sadly. He's not lying.
Oh,
We
my
have
goodness.
Prince Kalimba. It's Glenn's first year, you turd. Give him at least 3 years before we judge like everyone else. Go Rams. We winning it all this year again.
You just called me a turd. I don't even know if I could say go Rams with you.
Oh, is that directed at you? I was trying to figure out who was directed at.
I assume I'm the one that always calls out Aaron Glenn because I thought he was a terrible defensive coordinator with the Lions. I don't think he's a good head coach with the Jets.
So that was a super chat defending Aaron Glenn. Am I not mistaken?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The NFC West Roundtable, boys. Wow.
I think that's the one.
We found Richie's burner.
No kidding.
I don't think if I was in New York.
I don't even think Richie would put that in words, to be honest with you.
Aaron Glenn. I'd rather have Tarek Glenn as my coach.
Oh man, the
Colts tackle.
Levis D-Law calls the D dark side. Mike calls them the death zone. Both good. I don't know if it is as fun to say as Legion of Boom. What are your fave nicknames, team or players? You got a nickname for this defense, Brando?
Dark side, death zone. It's got that guy. Again, I'm agree with him. I don't think it's got as much the phonetic stuff as you get in defensives in the past. Purple people eaters. The steel curtain. You want to have a phonetic ring if you can. We haven't really quite been able to land on one, but it's coming about. We're spitballing here. We're working through it. So they win a Super Bowl, we'll stamp it on in there. Dark side for now is the working title.
I like that. Ski Nation. Shanahan, Coach of the Year. Stafford, MVP. JSN, Offensive Player of the Year. Cardinals, honorable mention, and it shouldn't be close. Go Hawks. Yeah, I mean, there's a real, a reality that exists where that winds up being the case. You could have the top awards pretty much going all the way through this division here, which is just crazy. It speaks to how great this division has been all year long. Board Skyler. Hawks put CMC on a milk carton. Man, they put the whole Niners offense on a milk carton on Sunday night.
But he should win MVP. I heard that. Oh, good Lord, did I hear that?
Daza, if the Bills lose to the Jags, is McDermott fired? Does he need to make the Super Bowl without Chiefs, Bengals, Ravens? No, ownership loves Sean McDermott. The Bills are the winningest franchise amongst the 4 major sports in terms of percentage over the last 5 years. They have done nothing but win, win, win. They can't win the big one, but from an ownership perspective, it's really tough to move off of that. That's why people are shocked that the Ravens moved off of Harbaugh, because even though they couldn't win a Super Bowl in their own right, they've been this close year after year after year. I don't see Sean McDermott being fired unless the Bills have a disastrous year next year, followed off a really bad loss here in the playoffs. And I'm talking like a drubbing to Jacksonville or something like that. And by the way, this narrative, the Chiefs are gone, the Bengals are gone, the Ravens are gone. The Texans have the best defense in the NFL, and you're looking at a Jacksonville Jaguars team that's the most well-rounded team in the AFC that nobody's giving any credit to. They've won 8 straight games. Josh Allen could go out there and score 32 points, and they could still lose. It has happened multiple times to the Kansas City Chiefs. So it'll be interesting to see. But this narrative that the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Ravens are out and the Bills are going to walk, I just don't see it. But the way that they lose, Daza, to answer your question, will really answer all those questions. Whether or not it's going to be on the back of McDermott or Josh Allen, we'll find out. Cryptic. We can all agree the division is repping the Super Bowl. You can bet on that, by the way. Which division will represent the NFC? I feel like it'd be a pretty safe bet. And you got 3 contenders here and 3 of the best teams remaining in the pool. We have Jack Baloney. Kiss my ass, Vegas, for putting us at 7.5 wins. Easy money.
That was dumb.
Yeah,
that was easy money.
That was free. Ski Nation, the Rams are so good that they finished third in their division and lost to half the NFC South. I wish Seattle was that good.
Though. They finished second in the division.
All right. I'm sorry. You got to get that right. Because I saw part of my take had that one Patriot dude who's like, they finished third in their division. And just get the facts straight before you say something. Appreciate the super, but for the love of God, third in the division. Like, Sunday happened 2 days ago. Like they've been second for 2 days now. I mean, come on. Ridiculous.
You know, the man is working hard. He's worth a deuce. We can all agree an NFC West team wins it all. My vote is the Rams. I think everyone is in on the idea that an NFC West team gets to the bowl. Boyette, double check the brackets, and I'm right. He's talking about his prediction earlier with the Bears and that whole situation, I think.
So Seahawks face the lowest.
And then again, he says it again that he messed up, so you're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he says.
Oh, okay. I'm like, they reseed, right?
Yeah. Appreciate it, Boyette, though. Came to your own conclusion, so you can't beat that. Max stopping by and just saying, Daza in the building saying, why would Harbaugh want to coach Arizona? Aren't they now the Raiders of the NFC?
Oh, get out of here.
No.
There's no way.
High vibes, Daza. High vibes.
Ooh.
Man, that was a low blow.
That's ridiculous. They're not the Raiders.
Rams have shown their best. The Seahawks haven't yet. Hawks have another gear they can get to. You believe that, Brando?
Well, potentially, I think that they continue to play their best football and it continues to improve every week down the home stretch of the season, including the run game coming together. Can the passing attack get even back to more explosive? Yeah, it can, and that's coming. Defenses are going to start to take away the run, and Sheed's going to get over the top, and the 22 shows this. Teams are singling up Sheed on the outside, and he's getting over the top. As soon as you start to make that a point of emphasis, it's going to be wide open.
Daza saying that the Niners should offer Purdy, Bosa, and picks for Burrow.
Ooh.
Wow, we were talking about Burrow maybe for Arizona earlier. Kyle Shanahan, I couldn't imagine would turn down Burrow, but I got a feeling that's not
Jesse,
in the cards.
Jesse, you jump on it, throw a first round on top?
Jesse fell asleep.
I would throw
Sorry.
two first rounders on top. I would
on
throw
top
two
of
on top.
Bosa and Purdy.
Yes, in a fucking heartbeat. Yes.
I wouldn't do that.
I propose, just so you know, I propose the year that they were getting ready to sign Bosa. So when he was coming off a defensive player of the year, I said Bosa and Purdy, or Bosa, Purdy, or Lance, whoever at the time, plus 3 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson. Everybody's like, oh, you're an idiot. And I'm like, all right, well, where are we at now? I'd love to have Lamar Jackson, I'll tell you that.
I did that with Jared Goff, and I got death threats from Rams fans because I said Jared Goff and 3 first-rounders and go and draft Patrick Mahomes. That's what I said.
Well, I wish we all had that
Jared
type
Goff?
of hindsight. Man,
It's only been 1 year. Well,
I thought you had more. Sorry, Jake. Quinn will get it done. Hawks going to win almost purely by running and defense just to ensure Darnold never gets an opportunity for credit, even with a Lombardi. And to that, I say, who the hell cares? Win it how you can win it. Who the hell cares how you win it? My God. Just go do it.
Just get it. I don't care. Style points are not a thing with me. I don't care about that in the least. Just go get that chip.
I keep seeing in this comment section, I probably shouldn't look, but this whole belt to ass, the Rams and the Panthers and the Falcons, people need to understand what belt to ass is. Like, belt to ass is when you destroy a team, not when it's a close game at the end and it comes down to the wire. Like, I don't, that's one thing I wish fans would get to learn. Like, because it's ridiculous. When you win by 20, that's belt to ass. When you dominate the whole game, that's when it's down to the wire and it's a 3-point game. It's not belt to ass.
Add belt to ass to the list of phrases and words that Jake absolutely cannot stand.
No, I don't mind it. Just use it correctly.
Okay.
Yeah. Seattle winning 38-37 when they were down 16 with 8 minutes to go. You won. That was not belt to ass. That is not using the word correctly, or the term correctly. If you want to say
can't think
Seattle,
about the ass anymore without Michael Irvin just beating up on a trash can. That's the only thing
I saw that. It was ridiculous.
USO Ken, you ain't kidding.
You're
about
not kidding.
to have some smoked lambs at the Lau House. Next time we match up. Oh, and Puka will be the only op invited. Go Hawks. Nitsu. Sam Darnold is the first black quarterback ever. Gingers is the new black. I think this has to do with Marshawn Lynch's tweet, if I'm not mistaken.
Cousin.
Yeah, the
He's
ginger
my cousin.
The
He's my
ginger
ginger
cousin.
cousin.
Love that. We have Be Glad. Z-Bop. Which NFC team would you be most worried about for the Bills? Also, how fun would Hawks versus Niners divisional with Rams versus Hawks NFC Championship be? That would be
Very
amazing. The
Hell
team that
yeah.
worries me the most by far is the Seattle Seahawks. The Bills, when they have gone up against top defenses this year, have struggled immensely. The Bills lost 5 games this year, and in all 5, they scored 20 points or less. And when you look at the defenses they played in those games, that was the result. So that would absolutely terrify me. But I've never seen a Super Bowl in my lifetime. I just want to get there. And if we get there, then we can talk about it then. Jordan, 49ers beating the Eagles. Their offense is not looking good, and their defense is suspect against the run. I mean, I agree. I'm
Have
just
you
not high
seen
on
the
Philadelphia.
49ers defense at all over the last month and a half? Like, is anybody witnessing how poor this defense is? Like, come on, man. Listen, the 49ers have a path, but to act as if like they're rolling in and they're juggernauts going across the country to the one team that actually probably has more experience than them, because they might have a weakness here or there, like talent for talent, it's not close. If the 49ers win, it would be an upset. Make no mistakes about it.
No doubt. But it's that offense with Philadelphia that I think people are looking at, thinking that the Niners can exploit. Be Glad. Send a message before subbing. Gone forever. I'm afraid it might be.
You
Be Glad.
You read it. No, you just read it above. It's just sorry. Be Glad we had 100 donations, so we do try to get through these as we can with them, but they do stack up a bit, so it just takes us some time.
Be Glad. I'm afraid I already read it. And as you can see, my memory is as sharp as a tack. So I'm glad we got that solved and appreciate the sub. Welcome aboard. Thanks
you,
for
Be Glad.
stopping by. P Train. We saw 3 versions of the Rams in the Cardinals game. The one in the late third quarter through the fourth was the best iteration. I think we can all agree on that. Joseph Humberg saying Niners fans settle for mediocrity. Changes need to come. Let's see what happens this upcoming weekend first. Unless you're doing the reverse psychology again, Joe, I can never tell with you. Bernardo.
They got Niners got $100 million they ate this year that clears off the books. So Jesse's right about them needing to replace the talent in house, but they have the pathway that they're not. They took the brunt this season to prepare themselves into the future.
Bernardo saying the Niners rivalry jerseys looked like a Mars chocolate bar. T-Guns. Oh, man. Jake, wish your dad a happy new year. Take a peek at that profile.
God awful.
With the Seahawks background,
Just
too.
that's
With
the
the
kiss of
Seahawks
death right
background,
there.
too.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That
You're the man.
that is the we'll see you in 2 weeks. That's your kiss of death right there. Remember I said that.
He continues to add more
Didn't
skills
Brock
to
Purdy
his...
say that? Jesse, did Brock Purdy say that? We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, he did.
How could you ever utter those words after the Lions and Vikings got clowned for that? I don't know. I don't get it.
Ski Nation. Damn, y'all made me feel bad for a simple mistake. Seahawks win it all and rub their balls on the Niners logo with a ring, and Stafford breaks his femur. Good game.
Oh.
Wow, golly, bro!
What
Like, you just
happened?
would turn total dark. Is he the one that was talking about the 2 seed? Is he the one that flubbed that up? Is that?
Mm-mm. That was
what
I
he's
don't
upset
think
about?
so. No.
Mm-mm.
I don't think so either. So what's he talking about? I don't
What
know.
happened?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh,
Come
yeah,
on.
that was the 3 and the 2. Yeah, okay. That was the
That
one where I
wasn't-
went at him.
I don't think it was
That
him.
wasn't Ski, though.
No, that wasn't
wasn't
him.
Steve.
No, they're saying it was
No,
someone
that
else.
it was. The Rams were 3rd in the division. And I was like, come on, you got to get it right.
Oh, 3rd in the division. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Sorry.
now I feel justified because you're hoping Stafford breaks his femur. By all
Yeah,
means,
it's pretty
I mean,
jacked up.
I feel justified in snapping back at you now.
Oh, man. Jordan, did you see the Eagles' offense against the Bears' defense? I'm just saying. I'm telling you, Jesse. I don't know. I think you're underselling your Niners a little bit here.
I get it, but listen, one thing you say whatever you want about Jalen Hurts, and again, he's not my cup of tea, but 20 touchdowns, 4 turnovers in the playoffs. He averages like 240 something yards per game. He steps up in the playoffs. He really does. So we'll see.
And
I'll
the
believe it when I
injuries.
see it.
Tatum Bethune just tore his
I know, that's what I'm
groin. I
saying.
mean,
I
just
just-
like
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. Duce. Pretty sure the Rams beat the Bills 44-42 last time. I guess y'all in the chat forgot. I didn't forget, Duce. I sure as hell didn't forget. That was a hell of a game. If we could only be treated to that yet again in the Super Bowl, Jake, I'd sign up for it as long as the outcome was on the opposite end. And I could put that in pen right now. We got to put this show in pen. Signed, sealed, delivered. It's done. It's over with. 2 hours, 13 minutes in the books. The regular season has come and gone. We have recapped Week 18. We have previewed the wild card round. And next week, we will be back to talk about what we see in the first round of the playoffs. One more from Be Glad. Didn't get to see the hat Brandon got for Jesse next week. As I was alluding to, you got to stop by. Ski Nation saying, yeah, I was the 3 seed to 2 seed guy. LMAO. I'm just kidding. Y'all, Stafford
has beautiful
has a beautiful femur. It's got one of the nicest femurs I've ever
End
seen.
it before they keep coming in. We love you, but golly.
We love you. We love you so much. That's going to do it for us. Cannot wait to see you this time next week. Same place, same time on the NFC West YouTube channel where we will recap the wild card round. But in the meantime, that's going to do it for us tonight. For Jesse, Brando, Jake, and Mike, I'm your host, Z-Bot. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning into the NFC West Roundtable, and we'll see you on the next.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Catch the AFC East live every Monday at 7 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The AFC North Roundtable live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The NFC East Roundtable live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The NFC West Roundtable live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. The NFC North Roundtable is at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and the NFC South Roundtable is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, Fourth and Forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network, covering all things NFL at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Real coverage, real fans.